exciting. We just need some background music.
That was one of the things I was curious about was
Mhm.
do I want to add music to this afterwards? Just go through like YouTube's like free library and
Mm.
add shit.
Maybe just for the sake of hiding pops and stuff.
That's what I thought,
Mm,
yeah.
mhm.
Because I that's what I do sometimes when there's been plenty of games where I haven't recorded audio and like I forget to hit record when I'm doing the
Oh,
game.
yeah.
I'm like, fuck, I gotta find something for this now.
Yeah.
All right. Uh give me a second.
You're good. Just pretend you're
Just pretend you're naked. Wait, no. Pretend we're naked. No.
Oh,
Don't do
no,
that.
touch. No, just pretend you're like one of those like you're at the waiting room for Terminator 3D and
At Universal.
yeah, and you're doing a spiel.
T2 and 3D.
Well, no, here's the
Pretend we're
thing. I'm
guests. Do your spiel.
I'm doing my spiel. I hated doing my spiel when I worked.
Mm,
I never did it.
I
No,
love
me neither.
I would tell people just like if they stood up, like you need to sit down.
my
Like that was
autistic
it.
brain loves having a script, so it's like it's great. I lived off of spiels
Gotcha.
Hated it.
because it's like, how do I communicate with this human person? Ah, a spiel.
My
I'm a NPC character now. I just love that so much.
mine is always as soon as I get through the intro, I'll be good.
Like literally, I remember when I first started working in customer service, I was also playing Mass Effect for the first time, and I'm like, oh, I could talk like this, like I have a dialogue tree, and it legitimately helped me with my social anxiety. It was just really dumb, but you know what? Hey, whatever works.
All right, y'all ready?
Mhm.
No.
All right. I'm gonna try and do this intro. Don't laugh while I do this intro. Now watch this drive. Hello, third shift workers and horror mascot killers. I'm Dirk Dogma, the other purple guy, and welcome to something just a little bit new that I'm trying out with my friends here.
Friends?
We're friends.
Acquaintances?
Every time we say
Here's the
friends, you're like, oh, we don't have friends.
now
We
here's
don't
the
have
here's the
friends."
bad part. I put that pause there because I was like I wanted to prepare for who I was going to introduce first. So now I'm curious if I'm just going to leave this in when I go.
Might as well.
Yeah, sure. Why
It's
the
more
hell not?
natural.
Who's more important to you? Name that person first.
Oh fuck, that's tough.
Do you mind if I lean on you so I'm
No, it's fine.
closer to the mic?
Lean on me.
Lean on
Let me
me.
get a little closer.
Lean
I'm
closer.
Sam.
I'm not Sam.
There you go.
We're not doing that. To my immediate right is actually the person who made me think of this idea, believe it or not.
Really?
Yes, you did.
What did I say to make you think of it?
Back when we were doing the conventions, and you were like, you should do a panel.
Oh
I
yeah.
was like, I don't like doing panels. I want to make YouTube videos.
So instead of presenting to 20 people, you're presenting to 20,000 people.
If this video makes 20,000 views, I will be so happy.
Okay, there you go.
My highest count view I think right now is like 345.
This is the part where anybody who's listening is looking down at the count number and saying 12, 13. No offense, you're gonna do great.
I don't
Have
think
faith in you.
so.
What's my name?
So I wanted to call you by your YouTube channel, but your YouTube channel isn't actually Stella Sam. It's Stella the Circle.
Stellar Sam. It's Stellar Circle. What the fuck's my YouTube channel?
Forget your own YouTube channel.
Stellar Circle. Stellar Circle Studios. Stellar Circle Studios.
Say that
Stellar
3
Circle
times.
Studios.
And then I call myself Stellar Sam on there, and then in the other places I'm Stellar Sam Leah
On all your other socials.
on all my other stuff because Stellar Sam was taken on everything else.
And then immediately to your right is someone who has no socials whatsoever. We have dragged her into this.
I don't exist anywhere. My name's
Nowhere.
Steph.
And they're going to be helping me out with this podcast idea. And if it works out, we're actually going to try and expand upon that,
Just a little hyperfixation project.
which we don't have a name for. We thought of one yesterday, and I forgot what it was.
I think it was hyperfixation.
Was it
Because
hyperfixation?
I like that. But there's chances are somebody's already got one called that. So we're gonna have to be hyperfixation _ 2.
Hyperfixation, and then you have those 3 little X's like how old gamer tag used to
Yeah.
be. So no one can ever actually figure out who you are when they send you a friend request.
XX _ hyperfixation _ XX.
Yeah. 69.
69 420.
Yeah.
Elite, but it's spelled funny.
Noob Slayer. Just the longest, most ridiculous name for a podcast that no one will remember. Are you sure you're not uncomfortable?
I'm good.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I mean the blades hanging over my head is a little unnerving, but
Yeah.
I'm okay. My
Well,
couch is comfortable.
that's the torture device. If we leave that off, you won't cooperate.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm
Yeah.
comfortable
We
now.
need you. We need you here, and we need you threatened.
It's fine. Whatever.
You should feel threatened by me. Michael Jackson, Danger album, 2003.
I feel extremely threatened.
Right over my head.
I love how you're older than me, but you don't know like old shit.
Fuck Michael Jackson is. Can I cuss on this? Is it okay?
Here's the thing. I've always debated with my channel if I'm going to curse or not, so I have not cursed on any of my videos.
Let's just fucking curse, and if you don't like it, just fucking bleep it out.
It's going to be so many bleeps.
Fuck, it sure is.
Just fix it in post. Just hit the post button and you're fixed.
Is this, just to be clear, is this going to be a video or a podcast?
I believe YouTube can make it podcasts.
I mean,
I was debating if I wanted to add visuals because I've made the slides,
yeah.
but the slides are literally so bare bones, I would have to do like extra stuff for it. I could. I'll debate once I'm done editing it down
Okay.
for this 6-minute intro for a FNAF video.
To go back, I know who Michael Jackson is. I've seen tons of his music videos. I've listened to a shit ton of his music. I don't know the names of his albums. I know Bad and Thriller, I think, and that's it.
You know the two most famous ones.
The album names. I don't know
Yeah.
any of the other album names. Because I never got any album names because Michael Jackson wasn't my thing at any point in my life.
Well, this video isn't about Michael Jackson. This video is about something else that involves children.
Oh shit, I don't want to do this anymore. Okay, go ahead.
Our first hyperfixation is me trying to explain the FNAF whole timeline, essentially, to these two kooks who have never actually interacted with it, right?
Correct.
I sold some toys when I worked at Target, but that's about the extent
And
of my experience.
I've watched plenty of playthroughs. I have not actually played the game. I've watched more playthroughs of the first game, snippets of other games, but I know, and I didn't see the movie, and I don't really want to, but like
the movies are okay.
It's just I feel like FNAF is one of those things where it would have done well. It would have been. I feel like it should have just stayed as one game and not expanded into a giant like Marvel Cinematic Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3 thing.
Oh, we're gonna get to that.
Shit. All right.
Because there's literally a point, just like the Marvel Universe. You know how Endgame was like everyone's stop point where they all got off?
Yeah.
There's a point in this franchise where that happens, and only like diehards and like weirdos like me stuck around.
All right.
I'm actually fascinated with the fact that this expanded so much. Like, I want to know how much milk they got from this rock.
It's crazy how much they got out of this thing for a game about people killing children and stuffing their bodies in animatronics.
Yeah.
Can I clarify something real quick, just for and anybody listening who's never heard my voice before? I apparently talk very like monotone and very deadpan. You can fucking laugh, Derek. I know you want to. I sound very in my head. I sound enthusiastic as shit, but I'm very deadpan. I know. I've been compared to what's her name from Bob's Burgers.
Oh, I don't even think about that, Sam. When I hear your voice, it reminds me of what's her name, the Slug Lady from Monsters Inc.
I get it. Yeah.
Always watching
Always
Wazowski's.
watching. Yeah, I know. I am enthusiastic when people talk about other stuff, and I listen to it and I participate in the conversations. I just have a very deadpan tone, so don't come at me. Don't you fucking come at me out there. I'm
Don't you
enthusiastic.
beep come at me.
I'm happy.
Well, let's move on to an actual thing because we have a lot of slides to go through.
Okay, go.
Do you want to know how many slides are actually in this?
72.
That's a very good guess. Steph, I told you on the car trip over here.
Do I remember?
No, you don't probably.
58.
58!
Yeah.
Wow.
That was me holding
Fuck.
back too. I was sitting there, I'm like, it was 2:30 in the morning, the day before we did this. I'm like, I need to wrap this shit up. And then I looked, I was like, I'm at 58 slides. That's crazy. All right, so let's move on to Dirk tries to explain the FNAF universe.
All right.
Before we go through, I actually wrote an agenda. I made this so
Amazing.
school related.
Yeah, go
Do
for
we
it.
want to? Well, no, I'm going to be a teacher. You guys are going to do it. Who wants to read the bullet points of the agenda today?
I do.
Sam.
Agenda. Explain the lore of the video game universe, mostly the classic era. Go over characters of note. Impact on gaming as a whole.
I was so trying to find a fourth point. I could not think of what I wanted to put down without repeating myself.
Get shit done.
Get shit done before 2:30 in the morning. So let's start off real quick first with the actual guy who made this whole franchise what it's worth. Mr. Scott Cawthon, born June 5th, 1978, from Texas.
Texas.
Texas. Actually has somewhere on the line of like over like 80 games under his belt.
Damn.
Wow.
The man was making a lot of games before he actually hit it big with FNAF.
Indie or
All indie.
Hmm.
We're talking things where like actual soul projects where he put a lot of effort into it. Fan games, like he made a really good Metroidvania game featuring Samus from the Metroid series. And then you go all the way to the bottom of the barrel where they're like phone games, like those phone casino games that are just made to make money type deals. So he's done a little bit of everything. We are only going to be talking about the video game universe here because there's way too many books to talk about the actual book universe. There's over 50 of
oh
them.
my god.
And most of them, okay, so it's really weird how the FNAF universe works because even though there's three universes, it's kind of like how Marvel Comics is, where they don't really connect to each other, but they do like borrow from each other. And also the fact that the games are very mysterious with how they try and explain things to the point where like it'll be like we think this happened, how can we prove it? Well, it does this in this one book, but the books don't connect, so they're just kind of it's a loose canon
Different interpretations.
of slightly similar
I
ideas,
see.
if that makes any sense. And then there's the movie universe at the bottom that just started in 2023 and kind of just grabs from everything. The games sometimes borrow from the book universe, but the movies pretty much borrow from everything, if that makes any sense. And they kind of smash it together to
Okay.
hodgepodge of stuff.
Kind of what they did with the MCU, where they kind of just grabbed from.
Whatever they thought was
Yeah.
coolest. Exactly.
Okay. I'm interested in this, like, so interactive novels. Are we talking about visual novels for the novels universe, or what? Or is this choose your own adventure kind of style?
These are because they can't use the word choose your own adventure. So apparently I think that's
Oh,
copyrighted from the Goosebumps books,
I see.
Oh, I never knew that.
if I'm correct.
Okay.
So yeah, they're just interactive novels, and they take place technically in the gaming universe, but because they choose their own adventure, obviously there's branching paths, so there's no clear indication of what is the canon choices.
Mm-hmm.
So like there'll be like one thing, like one of the interactive books. We'll get to the character by the name of Phone Guy. Everyone pretty much knows him as Phone Guy. He actually has a name, but no one knew what it was till that book came out. And it's Ralph. So that's like the only thing you can pull from that book is like his name is Ralph, regardless of whatever branch you take, he is going to be Ralph.
Interesting.
And is that a what the hell is his name?
Scott Coffin.
Is that a Scott Cawthon approved name?
Yes.
Okay.
He pretty much writes all these books.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
He's
He
kind of
writes fan fiction for his own stuff.
for his
That's
own stuff.
incredible.
Exactly.
I mean,
He's kind of like R.L. Stein essentially, where it's like, how many books do you write a year? It's like, yeah, like 52. It's like, oh, okay. Now Steph can go for the very first game, Five Nights at Freddy's, the first one.
was released on August 8th, 2014. It's a point-and-click survival game, the Final Fantasy of the Cawthon games.
So to explain that, you know how the idea isn't the legend goes for Final Fantasy that was like going to be the last game
Yeah.
for that studio,
for
yeah.
SEO. This was Scott Cawthon's like, if this doesn't work, I quit type
Wow.
moments. Because before we even move on to this first game, it's very famously known that he released a game called Chipper and Sons. And one of the biggest critiques of that from like reviewers and stuff like that was how creepy the characters were.
That's a great review.
It honestly, it's one of it's well,
Unless it's a children's game, and then not so good.
it is a children's
Okay,
game. It's
never
like
mind
it's one
then.
of those like time-based like management type games where you have to
Mm.
like cut trees down because you're I almost said wood chippers, but that's not the word I'm looking for.
Lumberjack?
No, the animal.
Beavers?
Beaver.
They're beavers. Thank you. I could not remember beavers.
Beaver
So
lumberjack.
obviously you have to build trees and
Beaver
knock
jack.
them down and cut them down and make points and stuff like that. And then you get like automation where you get like robot beavers.
Hell yeah, that's
Yeah.
not good. That game sounds awesome.
It was kind of shovelware-y.
Mm,
But you know how mean the internet can be.
yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty much this was at the time where like when Nostalgia Critic and AVGN and stuff like that was really popular. It's
Mm,
around like that later era where people were like, no, we're just gonna make fun of this game. Even though
yeah.
it's trying to do its own thing, we're gonna shit all over it type deal. And apparently Scott took that to heart and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna make a horror game without Chuck E. Cheese animatronics.
That's great.
Oh.
Yeah.
So the whole pretty much because of sit and survival, we'll explain sit and survival. You are stuck in this one room. You would think in a real life scenario, if things were trying to come and kill you, you would run away and move around. You have to sit and manage your power in this one room right here, which you're looking at. There are two doors on both sides of you and two windows on both sides of you, so you can see the animatronics.
Right.
And I just think it's really weird that it's an office. It's such a small office, and there to be two doors on both sides. It's essentially a closet, I would argue.
Yeah.
Pretty much a lot of this stuff has always become iconic because most times, especially with the sit and survival games, because eventually they do evolve past that and they make things or like games where you can traverse and move around and stuff like that. But for all the games where you're stuck, there's usually always a fan and there's always usually a poster of Freddy. The bullet point of celebration poster, yay, is if you click his nose, it makes a little noise.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and if I'm not jumping ahead, isn't there a cupcake in here that you can?
No, not in this one.
It's,
Chica has a cupcake.
there's a cupcake. I see it in the corner there.
Oh yeah, but you don't. It doesn't do anything.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I'd say that's just there. Now, in some of the later games, like there's a VR game we'll get to eventually. There, you can pick him up and move him around
Okay.
and chuck him.
I gotta just clarify something.
Yes.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yes.
You've got, and you play a security guard.
Yes.
Who gets hired, and he
Yes.
shows up the first night.
Yes.
And he gets the phone call. It's
I know
like,
where this
hey,
question's going.
they're gonna roam around and they're gonna try to stuff you in the suit. And also, you've got a limited amount of power. And you finish up the shift,
Mhm.
and then you're like, well, I survived the first night. Might as well come back for shift 2. So far, my score is pretty good.
I mean, we don't know how much they're being paid, so.
I mean,
we will get to that.
Oh.
They explain the money at the end.
They give you the paycheck. I know after the 6th night, there's a paycheck that's got an amount on it.
Yes.
But like, it doesn't seem worth the risking your life.
Not at all. Well, essentially, this first game is very bare bones. They didn't have a lot of story.
Yeah.
Scott was building the story as he went along. The funny thing about that is, okay, so FNAF has a thing where it has a lot of. He doesn't like to say they're retcons because in his interviews he's like, I don't like retcons. It's like they're retcons where they try and explain why people stay and keep working. And we'll get into that as we get into the actual characters. But this first game is very bare bones where it's just nothing but you and surviving and creepy storytelling.
Okay.
Right here is actually the layout of the pizzeria itself. So there's the 2 cameras, there's you, and there's the hallway for the 2 cameras. I made note of camera 6 because it actually doesn't work. It makes you have to listen to audio so you know which animatronic's in there. And that'll become a really big thing that actually moves the games forward when it comes to like design, where it becomes less about actually looking at the monsters and like listening out for them, where it doesn't really help for like the YouTube like content creators because they pretty much gave them that excuse to be like the whole screaming type deal.
Every time I've watched somebody play through, nobody ever lingers on the camera, so I've never known what the point of that one was, except it says audio only.
Yeah.
But like, whenever I'm watching somebody play it and I hear something, like, I don't know what's going on with that audio.
Well, a lot of the audio, because camera 6, the only 2 animatronics that actually go in there, we'll get to the animatronic on the next slide. Actually, we can probably move there right now. We're going to meet the crew here. Does anyone actually know what these characters' names are? If not, we'll go down the line.
Yeah, I know Chica.
Okay.
And the one in the left picture, the one in the middle, his name is Franklin. And then the rabbit's name is Ronald. The one behind the curtain there, that's Paolo. The red fox-looking one, that's Sylvester. And then the one down at the bottom, that's real creepy. That's Derek.
That's me? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, just so you know, that picture on the far right, that's the same animatronic, just in 2 different positions.
Yeah, yes, I know.
I like that you got Chica right, though. You got the only female animatronic correct.
I started going into it, and then I'm like, I should do a bit.
Steph, you want to try one without doing a bit?
Well, there's Chica.
Yes.
There's Freddy Fazbear.
Yep.
I guess the fox one is Foxy, right?
What do you think he's Foxy the?
Oh, I didn't know there was a the.
Because there's Chica the chicken. There's Freddy Fazbear. He's the only one with like a full legal name. He has actually he pays bills. He has taxes.
Okay. So Sam's been making pirate noises.
Mm-hmm.
Foxy the pirate?
You're correct.
Really?
Yeah.
That's his name.
All the rest of these are pretty much blank the animal. Like Bonnie is the bunny, obviously, but Foxy is Foxy the pirate. That's why he has a hook for a hand. You can't see it right here in this.
And he's got an eye patch.
And an eye patch.
Is Bonnie a girl or a boy?
Bonnie's, well, they're animatronics, but in the grand scheme of things, it's a boy.
Every time I see fan art of Chica, she's like really hot.
We will get to that.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Don't jump too far ahead. There is a whole thing about that. Literally in the next game we're gonna get to.
Okay.
So like just I know we kind of touched on this earlier, but like I actually do not know a lot or any
Hmm.
of this series. So this is all going to be new information for me. Like I'm aware of Five Nights at Freddy's like
Uh-huh.
just in existence, but this is going to be fascinating because I have that same question with Sam where it's like how did we get this fan art? But I mean I probably know the answer because
Furries, people who are attracted to
Which-
robots, freaks.
which, you know what, more power to them, but I'm curious to see the evolution here of how we get from point A to point B.
I want to clarify another thing. I don't like you said furries, and at the same time, I said perverts, but thoughts aren't connected. I don't think furries are perverts.
Yes,
They're
it's separate.
they're two separate categories. There are furries who are perverts, but not all furries are
Perverts are perverts.
perverts.
Exactly.
Furries are actually like really cool people, and I really respect them. So I don't think poorly of furries at all. Furries, you go do your furry thing. But there are some furries who are perverts, and even those people have fun.
Anyways, and let's move on to the last one who we didn't actually talk about. The very bottom slide here is
Sam's raising her
you have a
hand.
question?
No, I'm gonna name them.
Are you gonna name
Oh,
them?
she's gonna
I
name
thought
them.
it was me. You named them after me last
Derek,
time.
aka Golden Freddy.
Yeah.
Yay!
Now he actually, at least in this game, is not called Golden Freddy.
Oh,
In like the file names, which we will talk a bit about people going in the files and trying to find stuff out. But for now, it's just a little tidbit. His name is just Yellow Bear.
oh,
He actually got the name Golden Freddy famously from Markiplier because
oh.
there's one of the very first, obviously, Markiplier is one of the big YouTubers
Yeah,
who made games about
yeah.
this. And he freaks out one time when Golden Freddy pops up in the office and he goes, "Ah, Golden Freddy!" And then the game crashes and yells at him.
Oh. Hmm.
And obviously, other than Golden Freddy, which has a weird little mechanic, all four of the other animatronics have different little things where they move down the halls. I'm actually going to go back to my last slide. You see that they actually all start at that little camera where it's like camera 1B, camera 1A. That's
Yeah.
their show stage, kind of like how regular Chuck E. Cheese's are.
Mhm.
Where Bonnie will travel down the left side and end up eventually at 2B, and then cameras 4B downwards. That's where Chica ends up. But that's where the audio thing, remember we were talking about the audio earlier?
Okay.
Because Chica goes into the kitchen, so you can lose track of her and be like, where did she go? So you have to listen to her essentially tearing up the kitchen, looking for they it's gonna sound really sad. They slowly given Chica the character a eating disorder throughout the games.
Huh.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that they gave her that personality, but that always explains why she's always going into the kitchens places,
Okay.
which is really weird. Foxy has a gimmick where he actually slowly comes out of, he has his own section called Pirate Cove, which
Yeah.
that's what those curtains were.
Uh,
And have you guys ever seen the very famous thing of Foxy running down the hallway?
Yes. Swiggity Sweetie, I'm coming for that booty.
Exactly. So that's his thing where he'll come out after a certain time and he'll essentially book it all the way down to 2B, and either you have to have the door closed or you're just essentially fucked.
Yeah.
Golden Freddy's a little weird because he is just a chance. I think it's supposed to be like a 1 in 1,000 chance or something like that, where
Huh.
after you lower down your tablet, 'cause apparently it's the 80s, but you can, sorry, I believe it's the 90s. You can lower down your tablet that you clearly have, and he will pop up. And if you, to get him to go away, you pretty much put it back up and back down again, he'll disappear. And if you don't, he'll get you. Freddy's the only weird one where he does move, but you don't really see him that much. He tends to hide in shadows.
Okay.
So the best way, he's also audio where you're like, did he move? And you'll hear him laugh. He has a very low, you ever hear Bowser laugh in like N64? Yeah, it'll be like, ooh, ooh, ooh,
Yeah.
and they'll move around. There aren't not a lot of there's not a lot of big details in this game. It was pretty much just kids are killed, put in suits, possession. That's the whole case.
In this game,
In the
like
singular game here.
the kids were killed. Like I thought it was always the employees were getting killed.
No, these are all supposedly child souls being put into these machines.
Okay.
And then the only way you can actually get that backstory is if on certain slides there's a very random chance, along with like Golden Freddy being like a 1 in 1,000 chance, there's certain posters will change to newsletters from like old newspapers and explain the background of the story.
Oh.
There's about 4 of them, and that's the only way you can see them is if you read them like that. Would anyone actually wish to read those?
Sure. kids? Oh, okay, it's kind of dark up in the corner. Kids
Yeah.
vanish at local pizzeria. Bodies not found. Two local children were reportedly lured into a back room during the late hours of operation at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza on the night of June 26th, while video lost my place. Surveillance identified the men. Does it say men?
Yeah.
The men responsible and led to
Kids.
his capture. Sorry, there's like half of a microphone in my way. Capture the following morning. The children themselves were never found and were presumed dead, which is the responsible thing to do with authorities. Just assume they're dead.
It's been like 24 hours. They gotta be gone.
Yeah, who cares anymore? Police think that the suspect dressed as a company mascot to earn the children's trust.
All right, next slide.
Local pizzeria threatened with shutdown over sanitation. Local pizzeria, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, has been threatened again with shutdown by the health department over reports of foul odor coming from the much-loved animal mascots. Police were contacted when parents reportedly noticed what appeared to be blood and mucus. Mucus, is that right?
Yes.
Oh, mucus around the eyes and mouths of the mascots. One parent likened them to reanimated carcasses.
You would think if you found blood coming out of one of the animatronics, even if it wasn't human blood, you'd be very concerned about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it wouldn't be just a news report.
Yeah.
Next slide.
5 children now reported missing, suspect convicted. 5 children are now linked to the incident at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, where a man dressed as a cartoon mascot lured them into a back room. While the suspect has been charged, the bodies themselves were never found. You just presume them dead. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza the font's getting small, has been fighting an uphill battle ever since the uphill battle ever since to convince families to return to the pizzeria. It's a tragedy. End quote.
What if the doctor, like the eye doctor, replaced the eye chart with these?
Can you read these news clips from Five Nights at Freddy's?
All right, and read line 5 of the Freddy Fazbear's lore, please.
Now, imagine trying to read these, and there's one, these are actually cleaned up. When you look at them on cameras, these are old staticky cameras. Imagine trying to read them during that while animatronics are trying to kill you.
And how quick are they on screen? Is this like a flash, or is it as long as you're not moving to the next
It's
camera?
as long as you're pretty much not moving to the
However
next
much
camera.
battery power you have.
That too, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So one of the things where, because usually it's a poster of the rules. There's
Mhm.
rules, like don't run, don't,
Mhm.
lifeguard not on duty. There's actually one about I believe not peeing on Freddy or something like
That's
that,
great.
which is very interesting.
I mean, don't do
And if
it.
there's a sign for it, somebody did it already. So.
Mhm. They say the warning signs are written in blood or pee.
And then it'll switch from that to one of these. So yeah, not all 4 of these will pop up at the same time. So sometimes you might get the last slide and then the first one. They're out of order. You have to actually kind of put them in order.
Interesting.
We might as well read the last slide.
Sure.
Steph, go for it.
Local pizzeria said to close by year's end. After a long struggle to stay in business after the tragedy that took place, After a long struggle to stay in business after the tragedy that took place there many years ago, Freddy Fazbear,
Freddy
Freddy
Fazbear's
Fazbear's
Pizza.
Thank you. I'm failing the eye test. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza has announced that it will close by year's end. Despite a year-long search for a buyer, companies seem unwilling to be associated with the company. Quote, "These characters will live on. In the hearts of kids, these characters will live on." End quote.
And
CEO.
these kids
CEO.
and these kids' hearts will continue to live on in these characters.
Essentially, yes.
Literally.
I just think it's really funny that so many kids actually died. So depending on which order you actually read these in, the first few killings, most people agree it's only 5. But some people are like, well, no, it says there's 5 and then there's 2, so it's 7. No one knows what the body count of Five Nights at Freddy's is. It's one of those things where it's like it could be a number of kids.
And there's probably 100 people commenting right now. They're like, I know what the body count is. I think it's really obvious. And every comment's going to be a different number.
All theory crafting, essentially.
Yeah.
I believe the next slide is
Oh.
That's how much you get paid.
$120.
I
But
mean, in the 90s, probably a lot of money. I don't know.
so here's the thing: no one actually knows if it takes place in the 90s. Most theories, especially obviously, we have to talk about game theory, the very famous theory channel.
Sure.
They've kind of put it in the 90s based off of like how much that money is and how much it would make an hour
hmm
with their theory. But the fact it says XX, no one actually knows when it exactly takes place.
Mm.
We'll get more into lore stuff once we get to the second game. But yeah, the first 5 nights, if you survive, you make $120. It's hard to see up there. I didn't realize it was going to be so small. It's only extra 50 cents for surviving the 6th night. Now, I don't know if since it's a separate check, if it's a bonus $120.50, or if it's just like they tore up this check and gave you an extra 50 cents on that one.
I was gonna say, since it seems like the check number is the same, 123,
hmm
so I'd imagine it's not a bonus check, but
Exactly.
yeah.
So they just gave you an extra 50 cents for working a whole 6-hour shift.
Which I don't think they understand overtime.
And what are you buying in the 90s that's worth $120?
So
PlayStation
much.
2.
The PlayStation 2.
Wait, when did the PlayStation 2 come out?
I think it came out in the
2000s.
2000s.
My bad. PlayStation 1. I'm
PlayStation
sorry.
1.
It depends. I believe it came out in 99 in Japan.
There we go. We're in Japan.
I gotta check real
Freddy
quick.
Fazbear opened up a branch in Japan.
Hey Siri, how much was the PlayStation 1 when it first came out?
Right now, everyone's series are going in and answering that question for them if they're listening
PlayStation
to
1
this.
launched at $299 in 1995.
1995.
This answer is from
Is the
Domestic
PlayStation really that old? Are we that old?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Jeez.
Old enough
So you
that I
ain't buying
can't
a
remember.
PlayStation for $120.
Yeah.
Yes, I've got my iPhone assistant set to the Irish settings, so leave me alone.
I don't think anyone's iPhone is set to like the American setting, to be completely fair.
My sister has hers being an English guy for some fucking
Yeah.
reason. But even funnier is there's a 7th night. Even though it's called 5 Nights at Freddy's, there's actually 7 nights
Oh,
altogether.
it's the resting day.
And on the 7th night, Freddy rested. He died for our sins. But no, but usually the 7th night is like a custom night where you can put in any type of like they have different settings.
Oh,
Right.
that's
And
fun.
you earn OT.
Well, no, you get fired.
Oh, good
You
times.
that pink slip is for messing with the animatronics, unprofessionalism, and odor.
Odor. Oh, because you just haven't gone home.
You just stay the whole way through till the next night,
Showers definitely don't work.
which is actually something kind of neat. We're not going to talk a lot about game mechanics in the grand scheme of things, but I like how this one works. It is pretty much an RNG thing, but the way it is, you can set the animatronics from 1 to 20,
Right.
and in the background, the game's rolling numbers, and if it hits a certain number or above, it'll move the animatronic. Sorry, hit the number or below, I believe, it'll hit the animatronic. So if you have it set to like 15, if it hits 15 or lower, that'll make it so the animatronics move to their next spot
Oh,
and move forward and then eventually reset.
that's interesting. I like that modifier.
I say, yeah, it's a neat little thing. That's where the 420 mode comes from because you can set all 4 animatronics to 20, so they're just constantly moving and constantly coming
Oh.
after you. No, I cannot beat that mode. I'm not that good at games. Holding processing management of resources, not my strong suit. Does anyone have any questions about 5 Nights at Freddy's 1 before we move on?
How do you? This is something that like I never really understood. How do you stop like? How do you survive a night? I guess is my question. Like,
So
what do you do
on
if they're
both
coming after you?
on both sides of you, since you're only stuck in this room, they have super high powered doors
Mm-hmm.
that slam down from the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
They're essentially blast shields
Mm-hmm.
that they can't get through. You would think if they really wanted to get to you, they would break the glass windows and come and get you, but no, they do that, and that consumes power. That using your cameras and using flashlights, like on the door, they have little lights so you can see through the hallways
Mm-hmm.
because the hallways are pitch black.
Mm-hmm.
So you cannot see the animatronics unless you turn the light on and they're looking at you like, how you doing there, Frank?
I have a question.
Yes.
So they had the ability to make these blast shield doors, these super dense doors.
I love that you're new because you're asking all the questions people have been asking for
Yeah,
years.
that's great. Yeah, it's like on. I told you I watch a lot of Smosh,
Mhm.
and one of the cast members of Smosh, Amanda, just like found out within the past 5 years about Harambe.
Really?
Yeah, and so they had to break the news to her about Harambe, and she was crying. Like it was, and everybody else is laughing. It's just like, you're lying to me, and they're like, no, we're laughing because you're living through the trauma we had to live through years ago. But anyway, so sorry, go ahead.
No, because I know you were about to ask about the strong doors. I'm assuming.
The strong, yeah. Why not put the strong doors in the stage area to keep the animatronics from escaping, rather than put them in the surveillance room and let the animatronics just free roam?
Well, it's because it uses power, and if they have them shut all the time, they
You'll
won't
waste
have
the power, and all the power in the
exactly.
building goes
That's
down.
why they have to have a guy.
But they have the money to hire the nighttime security guard,
Yes.
and they have the money to build these extremely powerful doors. Why not buy a better fucking generator?
Because it's Fazbear Inc., and you will learn that they are very inept and very like. Essentially, they become like supervillains. You know how people look at Amazon nowadays and like, oh, they're such a corrupt like supervillain
Yeah.
corporation. It becomes kind of like that. It becomes kind of cartoony, where it's like, how evil can we make this corporation?
Sam, to put in perspective, the company believes overtime is 50 cents. Do you honestly think that their money management skills are well earned?
Okay, why not melt down the doors and make them into high density chains to chain down the animatronics?
And they
There's
honestly,
literally so many other solutions to
Here's the thing.
this.
the best solution really is to hire an exorcist and just rid the problem entirely.
And-
Like, it's not that, I don't think
Okay.
they're expensive. You could probably find one on Fiverr.
Time out. Before we go any further, at least in this game, the reason why they do not chain down or make the animatronics stop moving is they are forced to stand on the stage for the whole day. They're not allowed to move. They allow them to move around at night so their servos don't lock up. Yes, they have servos in the 90s, apparently.
I mean, okay.
That didn't exist for a little while. But so that's their excuse on why they can't let them just not move, essentially.
Why would the doors lift up when there's no power?
Exactly. That's my biggest critique is like, you would think with power they would slam down
Yeah.
and just.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, logistically, like, the power runs out, doors don't just automatically pop open.
Yep.
I mean,
They do in this universe.
I mean, if you think about, like, what happens during prisons when the power goes out, don't all the doors just automatically stay? No, maybe they pop open in prisons.
Sam, have you ever been to prison?
Yes. Don't let me start some lore right now. Let everyone think I've been to prison. Let them think I'm a badass. I went to prison for murder.
We became friends while she was in prison.
Yes.
We were pen pals.
Yes, you were one of the guards, and I was an inmate. And you started talking about Freddy Fazbears, and you wouldn't stop.
And then she killed me and got more sentence time.
And I've been extorted into coming here and listening to you.
This is part of your community service.
I've got an ankle monitor on right now. I can't leave until he finishes this slideshow.
I was just some random person they found in the street.
You snatched her up. All right, let's move on to number 2
Okay.
while we're sitting here. FNAF,
He
the
has
second.
He has 2 sets of teeth.
Yes, he does.
All right.
That actually becomes a little bit of lore,
Okay.
believe it or not. So, FNAF 2, you want to know how far FNAF 2 came out after FNAF 1? 87 days. The first 4 games in the FNAF universe all came out within a year.
So,
Jeez.
how much money did the first one make within the first year of release?
That
I
is
guess
an
my
interesting
question is like, since the first FNAF was kind of the programmer's last game, at what point did he make enough money
to know
from-
it was a good idea.
to continue making a second game? Because I want to see the chart where it starts spiking. Like, is it because of people like Markiplier and like other YouTubers? Is that the reason why the game became popular? Because that's what I'm interested in. It's like, what caused this kind of like hysteria? Because obviously, like it like scratches the itch of like people's nostalgia or just the idea of like, oh, something kiddie is like actually frightening. Very common theme, right? That a lot of people are interested in. But my question is, how did a game like this become exposed?
Well, it mostly became exposed through YouTube.
Oh, is
That's
it?
the big. If
Okay.
you're a fan of FNAF, you either A, are one of those weirdos who like playing really small indie games that you just find randomly on Steam, or you're into YouTube and you watch many streamers like Markiplier play them,
Right.
essentially.
Okay. Word of mouth
According
kind of
to this very trustworthy AI answer,
thing.
FNAF 1 from 2014 made $8.4 million.
Jeez.
That I'd imagine
In
that's
gross
probably
revenue,
really.
approximately $8.4 million.
Damn.
Wait,
Alright.
is that like to date or is that
I'm
like
assuming that's to date,
okay? I'm curious.
Okay.
but that's still one of those things where, like, I'm
Oh,
assuming it made a
mhm.
lot then.
And like to think that like he made all the games in 1 year, like it sounds amazing, and I've never made a game before, so I really can't attest to any of this, but it does seem like a relatively not complex game to make. Which I'm gonna sound like an asshole saying this, but the game does take place in one room, and the graphics aren't like, it's not freaking Final Fantasy 15. It's
It's essentially pictures. These
it's
animatronics don't move. They move, but they don't, like, you don't see them walking through the piece where they literally just snap into place. The camera will static and it'll snap into place. So they're not even moving.
right, yeah.
It's pictures you're dealing with.
Yeah, so it can't be that complex, especially for somebody who's made 80 something games in the past already. This was probably a walk in the park for him. And I know I'm just talking out my ass right here, and somebody's gonna come and say, "Oh, it was really hard for him." He,
I
almost
feel like it's kind of like one of those things where once you do a job and you get really good at it, it becomes
Yeah.
simple to you to the point where you can kind of just do it in your sleep.
yeah.
So it's one of those things where it probably does have like complicated things for people who don't know what they're doing, but him with his huge background, he's probably just flying through it.
Yeah.
Where he's like, I know what I want to do, I know how to do it, we're gonna do it in and out, essentially.
Yeah. So I'm not super surprised that he managed to make another game so quickly.
To make 4 of them though in less than a year is
Oh,
crazy.
yeah,
The good thing is they're all
Good
still sit
job.
and survive games, so there's not much you have to do in the
It's
grand scheme
mostly
of things.
iterative. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that the genre, sit and survive?
that's what I'm calling it.
All right.
I think that's a good general term because you literally just sit and survive. You have to manage things.
All right, start talking about the slide.
Well, I was waiting to see if Steph could figure out her.
Yeah,
What
I
are you
was
looking
just
for?
curious to see some of the sources here.
We have our currently inspector looking to see how much FNAF 1 made when it first came out.
I'm literally in Wikipedia right now.
Of all things, even more
Yeah.
trustworthy than AI, Wikipedia.
Well, actually, I was seeing if Five Nights is even on Zarkana or because it's not like a traditionally published game.
Yeah, this is as indie
So
as you can get. This man made it himself and
Honestly,
pleasured
Sailor
himself,
Moon
so
villain.
sorry, I don't have the information. I failed as a PI person.
it's fine. I'm assuming it made. Here's the thing: even if it didn't make millions of dollars, if I made a game and it made, like, let's say $10,000,
Hmm.
I think that would give me the inspiration to be like, okay, I'm gonna make more of
Yeah,
these.
I guess that's fair. Yeah,
Hell, if it made half that, if it made
Yeah.
$5,000, I'm like, that's rent. That's
Yeah.
mortgage at that point. I can pay for stuff.
Like honestly, okay. I not to sound like so pretentious, but like I publish books, and if my book made like if it sold like 1,000 copies and got 1,000 like positive reviews,
Yeah.
I'd be like, sequel. I wasn't
Yeah.
planning on it, but I might.
I will figure something out.
I don't know where the story will go, but I'll do it.
Even when it says happily ever after at the end, but and then you keep writing stuff to continue it. Are we ready to move on, Steph?
Sorry, I'm just looking at one more source.
It's fine.
There's a lot of FNAF porn.
I'm sure. So that's like, I don't want to tangent too much on this, but I do find it fascinating that like there's a lot of porn for things that are like, I guess, considered traditionally scary, which just shows an example that the line between horror and like arousal is just like very thin.
Mm-hmm. They're the same side of the same coin, essentially. Well, different sides of the same
Humans are
coin.
weird. You know what I mean? Like in a
Yeah.
good way. It's fascinating, but it's just one of those things that's like, we like this.
It's like when Lois and Family Guy gets kidnapped by Mel Gibson. She's like, "What are you gonna do to me?" Oh, what are you gonna do to me?
Thank you for that timely, like, 2004 Mel Gibson joke.
You're welcome. Okay, November 10th, 2014. Only 87 days later.
Yes, 87 days later, November 10th, 2014.
Your arm is hot.
Your arm is cold.
Be quiet if you want me to move on to the next slide.
No more doors, just a mask and a
There's-
flashlight.
There's no more doors. They got rid of the doors. That was the big gimmick for the yes. Say something.
Do you wanna like pause and test the audio to see if it's like
No, let's commit.
No, I'm committing because I've been paying attention to it. And other than when I yell, kind of like this, it tends to be staying somewhat level.
Yeah,
Okie dokie.
yeah. Because when we talk, ours bounces higher. When
Yeah.
he talks, his bounces higher.
Exactly. which I want, just in case there's an echo. I want y'all to be louder on your mic and me to be
But I'm
louder on
pretty
mine.
sure there's going to be a couple crackles in it there, and if there is, I'm sorry.
That's fine. I don't care. All right. So, anyways, FNAF the Second. It is not actually called FNAF the Second. I've given these all sort of like funny sequel names. It's literally just Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Exactly.
Yeah.
There's no more doors. That was the big gimmick. They were like, we're getting rid of the doors. What they give you instead is a disembodied like Freddy mask that you would have to put on your face. And the animatronic will walk into the room, well, quote unquote, walk into the room, look at you, go, oh no, that's not him, and then walk away. Except for very select characters. We also have an introduction of way more characters. We have nearly almost tripled the characters here. Like, not even all the characters are on this roster right here.
All right.
So, we still have our favorites. We still have Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy. And now we have introductions.
BB, Toy Freddy, Toy Bonnie, Toy Chica, Mangle, and Golden Freddy.
Who has now earned his name as Golden Freddy.
Oh, because of Markiplier.
Because of Markiplier. I believe in the code he's still referred to as Yellow Bear in this game, but on the screen it's like, no, he's Golden Freddy. So pretty much we have the toy animatronics, we're the brand new spanking gang, essentially, which is kind of weird because they're not furry. They're kind of hard plasticky, which I feel like for an animatronic would be really weird to feel like a plastic character. And then we have our original four, which technically are not our original four. We'll get into that. Who have been slowly taken apart and used for like spare parts. Like Bonnie doesn't even have a damn face. If you ever see Chica, she's missing her arms. She doesn't have arms anymore. Foxy and Freddy honestly kind of look the best. They look a little scruffed, but that's about it. Does anyone want to take a guess what BB stands for?
Best boy.
Bilbo Baggins.
I love both answers. No, he stands for, technically, BB doesn't actually stand for anything. Like, I believe in the code he's still referred to as BB, but his character carries balloons, so he's been referred to as Balloon Boy because it's BB.
Okay.
But later on in the lore, we'll have characters like JJ and DD, and people are like, what does JJ stand for? Jaloon Girl? And it's like, yeah, everyone has made that joke. The only other one that seems to be a little out of sync here is Mangle.
I was going to ask about that. It looks like an upside down cow.
No. So it is essentially Toy Foxy.
Okay.
But in the lore, the children who are monsters, like the real life children who still come to this establishment, tore Mangle apart. They somehow tore essentially a robot. I know they say they're animatronics, but these things move around so much they are robots. Into pieces. And instead of fixing Mangle, they decided instead to turn it into like a fun thing where it's like you could take it apart and put it back together again. Isn't that fun?
So all these kids just jumped on him like some Lord of the Flies shit and just her, sorry, get the pronouns right.
Sometimes he. That's a big mystery of what Mangle is.
Okay,
gender fluid. We can accept that. Valid.
So they jumped on them and just tore Mangle apart for the
shits
fun
and giggles.
doing it, and nobody stopped these kids?
No one stopped the children, and they didn't want to fix it. That's how bad Freddy corporate is, essentially, where they're like, we're not going to pay to fix this. Just leave it there.
I mean, if they're paying their employees $120 for every 5 days, I don't think they're willing to spend the extra cash flow.
Yeah, they're like, we already built this. We're not going to build it again.
And honestly, this sounds pretty accurate to like theme parks. If anybody has like worked at a theme park, you know, like, hey, this needs to be replaced. Like if you've ever been to the ET ride,
all those poor
at Universal
Orlando,
Orlando,
that won't thing, put down.
They can't. They're obligated by contract to keep that thing alive, and so it's funny whenever you go in there and it's like this thing is on life support as 100% with.
I love that ride.
It's so good.
When ET says your name, but it says it like that goodbye, Derek.
No.
Stephanie.
You want to hear some? You want to hear some shit? We got on that ride. It was only us two and 3 other people. E.T. said everybody's name, and then they got to me. I was the last, like, he's gonna say my name. Thank you. And we just fucking kept driving through, and I'm like, come on. Like, I helped. I sat in the back, but I helped. I'm showing you the map here. The map has gotten larger as well.
Who the hell is that?
So that is our last character that we're actually going to talk about. We'll get to that in a second.
That's Jigsaw. Billy, what's his name? Billy the puppet.
Billy it is actually referred to as the puppet.
All right,
Okay.
go me.
So this whole map, essentially, most of the animatronics, other than the puppet, Foxy and Mangle, and Balloon Boy, but Balloon Boy's still actually the same, all do the same thing where they will travel from wherever their location is and slowly either make their way through Cam 5, Cam 6, which are big, huge vents. You know how people always make fun of Die Hard where he's climbing through the vent and like vents aren't that big?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now imagine what is canonically a 9 foot to like roughly 13-foot animatronic monster climbing through a vent.
Probably not gonna fit that well.
But
hold
they
its
do.
weight.
All right.
Okay.
And they can either pop up on the front, on the sides, or they come straight in through that front door. You see where it says "you" there? That little black square right there is a doorway, and they'll just wander straight in front of you.
You know, actually, I think I understand now why they have like blast shield doors and heavy duty. I think they
'Cause
got
these
it
are
from.
walking tanks, essentially.
Hold on, I think that they're buying these up from like discounted surplus stores. You know what I mean? Like they got these on the cheap. That's why the doors don't function normally like doors when the power is lost. Is because they got it from some kind of like, hey, these doors don't work properly, so we're giving you at a steep discount. And Fazbear Entertainment's like, fuck, we're stingy with money. Yeah, we'll get it.
That's their default. That's their manufacturing error. Is the fact when they power out, they shoot up instead of shooting down.
Exactly, and so they're liquidating all that stock, and Fazbear's like, all right, we hit the
Good
jackpot.
enough.
When
Just
it-
hire somebody below minimum wage and just work the. Yeah, it's easy. It pays for itself.
And then they stopped doing that altogether. Like, you know what? Fuck the doors. We don't even need doors anymore. We'll give you this mask that
Exactly.
only works on like a 3/4 of the monsters in this building. Because I'm going to explain Foxy and Mangle real quick. So they will come down that hallway. They will travel from where they're at, come down to that big rectangular hallway right there, and you have to flash your flashlight at them, essentially to piss them off and make them go away. That is your defense
Wait,
for
who is
Foxy.
this you have to do today?
Foxy and Mangle, both the foxes.
Okay, and they don't like light.
They do not like the light.
Okay.
They will eventually get really annoyed and be like, fine, I'm leaving, and go back to whatever they were doing.
I remember in the first game,
Yes.
if you do look at Foxy, what makes Foxy come out?
Not paying attention to him.
Not paying attention to
His
him.
trigger is if you're not looking at the cameras, he will eventually, his numbers will randomly draw, and he will slowly open the curtain up more, and once he fully opens up, he will walk out, and then it'll trigger and he will run. But if you look at the camera, his trigger will not calculate. Like, it'll give you like a grace period, like, oh, he's looking at him, he can't move while he's being looked at.
But the longer you look at Foxy, the more time the others have to get out.
Exactly,
So
and
it's a
they'll move
trade-off.
around.
But in this one, Foxy just doesn't like light.
Yeah, you
Okay.
just shine him. So technically, if you don't shine him, if you just put the mask on, he will run. There's a very famous jump scare that people will use.
I think I've seen it.
I'm debating if I want to put a jump scare in my middle of this video,
I've
where he will literally jump across the desk to get to you.
seen that, yeah.
Mangle kind of works a little bit similarly, but he won't attack immediately.
They.
They. You can use either one. We will get to why you can use any terminology with Mangle.
Okay.
Any all pronouns.
Exactly. They go by whatever you want to call them. They will come into your office and then just hang out on the ceiling.
Hey.
That's why the picture of them is upside down, because
Like
they will.
Hereditary.
Honestly, yeah. Imagine like a spider or like Hereditary, exactly, where they're just on the ceiling and they'll just sit there. And then it goes through random number generations where sometimes, eventually, it will just eat you. It's kind of like a, what's that dagger called? The famous dagger.
Damocles. The sword of Damocles.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, it's a sword, sorry.
Yeah.
And it'll just sit there, and then if it ever feels like killing you, it'll just do it on the spot.
Nice.
Balloon Boy pretty much runs like all the rest of the animatronics. They can be fooled with the mask. But their thing is they do not kill you. They will steal your batteries so that your flashlight does not work.
An asshole.
So a lot of people, at least in like the meme side of things, don't like Balloon Boy. Even in the movie, he shows up in the second movie and he gets killed immediately. They walk over, like the protagonist walks over and just rips his head off and throws it down the hallway.
That's how you do it.
But yeah, that's his whole gimmick, is pretty much he'll steal his batteries, and then you're like, okay, well, hopefully Foxy and Mangle don't show up to try and kill me. Our special friend, the puppet here, technically, I believe their name is the marionette, but most people just say the puppet because it's kind of a puppet. On camera 11 for this game, there's a music box. that you have to continuously wind up so it keeps playing music. And then if you don't, like if it goes out and empties, this prize box here at the prize counter, which is kind of like Chuck E. Cheese where you turn in the tickets.
Right.
This big present will open up, kind of like how you see in this picture. It will play Pop Goes the Weasel, and it will slowly come out,
Spooky.
all creepy, and then run down the hallway. Essentially the same way Foxy does. You see mask in your face.
Oh.
Golden
Flat.
Freddy kind of works kind of like a Foxy as well, where he's kind of like he doesn't move because obviously he's a ghost. His body does not functionally move like the rest of these guys. This game is the first thing to introduce mini games, which are little lore snippets that kind of explain stuff from the past. Some of these are less important than others, but they do actually, contribute to things. We're gonna start. Actually, which one do you want to talk about first? There's 4 pictures here.
Foxy.
Foxy, better known as Foxy Go Go Go.
Ooh.
Say it.
Foxy, go, go, go!
Say it.
Foxy, go, go, go!
And thank you. Thank you for entertaining me. Where his whole mini game is he starts in the curtains, kind of like Pirate Cove. He runs down, he goes to the right, and there's children there. They're happy to see him.
Yay!
It does it again. There's children there. They're happy to see him.
Yay!
It does it again. There's a purple guy there. What's he doing there? Who knows? You go into the room. There are dead kids everywhere.
Oh. Oh, is Foxy framed?
Actually, that was a theory about that for a little bit. And fun fact, all these kind of end with jump scares. So after that one happens, that's where the Foxy jump scare comes in.
So if you play the mini games, you're fucking yourself over?
Well, no, you only get the mini games if you die.
Oh.
So if you die on a night, you have a random chance of getting a mini game to play.
Well, okay.
So technically, if you're good, you will never see these at all, essentially.
Oh.
Not all mini games in the future will be like that, but that's just this game specifically. All right, Steph, 3 choices.
All right. Well, take cake to the children.
Take cake to the children is you were playing Freddy, who is down there, his little cake.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to go around to each of the kids, and you have to hurry up and give them cake, or they're going to get all angry and fussy, kind of like how they are on the right there.
Mm-hmm.
And while that's happening, there's a child locked outside, where a very purple car comes up, and a purple man comes out, kills this poor child,
Oh.
and then slowly drives away.
Not subtle as to what's going on here.
No, not at all. It's almost as if some purple guy is doing all these murders. All right, 2 choices.
Top left.
Top left is you play the marionette, the puppet,
Okay.
and you have to give the kids pretty much. This one is kind of hard to explain because there's theories that who put the children in the suits actually, where a lot of people just kind of assume the killer put them in the suits to hide the bodies, where that might not always be true, where maybe the marionette did it. Sometimes people think I'm trying to think of Faz. Some people think Fazcorp does it, where maybe they came in, they're like, oh god, there's bodies everywhere. We have to hide this type situation. This kind of somewhat implies that the puppet might have done it, because you have to give them all, you'll see all the dead children there. You have to give them all little suits, and then you have to give them life. So that's pretty much explained that the puppet kind of helped with the process of giving the animatronics their possession, essentially. If that makes any sense?
Okay, so not a good character, technically.
Kind of a good character, kind of not a good character. It kind of depends on where you think they're coming from, where it's kind of like, if you're a lost spirit and you don't know what to do, maybe putting them in this will give them their body back type of situation.
Full Alchemist style.
Exactly, kind of like that. And then because we have the very last one here. Now, this map is actually fully blown up. This is someone who put all the map pieces together. This is probably the most in-depth one where you have to move around. You will start in a room and essentially have to follow around and walk around this whole pizzeria. And you can see that there are the scrapped animatronics, so those are the ones we've been talking about, like Bonnie, who doesn't have a face and all that, all the way in the top left there. There are the toys up in the top right. There's the puppet with box. And then there's Mango, which is that dog-looking thing next to the pizza box. Not pizza box, next to the gift box there. This game is kind of really weird, I would argue, because it kind of goes into a discussion of how many kids have died in this game. Because all those little white squares you're seeing, like next to Mango, next to those prize tables, next to the toy animatronics, are all dead kids. But in this universe, well, in this timeline, all the possessions should have already taken place. So are there more kids that are being killed? And that's been a big hot topic of like how many kids got killed before, he got caught, essentially. Yes.
Couple of questions. Do the animatronics behave normally during the day, during business hours?
Apparently so. So the way it's best explained is that most of them interact very kindly to children, but when humans try to interact with them, they just stare. They kind of give the Stanley Kubrick stare, where he's kind of like, "What are you doing here?" type attitude. And then the toy animatronics are a little bit weird and quirky because they essentially they try and explain that there is like a huge computer in their brain that is connected to a database of like serial killers, murderers, serial killers or murderers, rapists, all that. Pretty much this huge internet database that can like scan faces and will be able to tell. So like let's say Sam was a murderer, like she said earlier, and she walked into
If I was
Freddy's.
a murderer.
If she was a murderer, and she
Please.
walked in, the twin animatronics would scan her face. I'm going to tell you right now, this takes place in the 80s. This game's in the 80s. They would somehow scan Sam's face in the 80s, realize she's a murderer, and be like, "Oh no, you're under arrest. We're going to take you down," and pretty much put you on the ground and wait. Pretty much a citizen's arrest, but it's 3 very big fucking robots.
Interesting.
Did that help your questions?
Yes, I think so. Because I'm just trying to think of like if they're behaving so erratically at night but during the day they're behaving well. I'm trying to figure out like are the additional child murders like to feed the
Why are they killing children?
That's the thing, because it's like if it could be like my working
We'll
theory
get
with
to
the
that.
limited information I have is that the corporation's like, oh, it's cheaper to feed dead children to these robots to continue to work rather than paying a maintenance guy to fix them. Is like because I'm really
Freddy sprung a leak. We gotta kill another kid. Get him in here.
like literally like to
Chop the
me
throat.
just seeing all the signs of like corporate like just I guess
Neglect.
yeah, corporate neglect, because that's clearly the theme here. It's like what would be like an awful corporate CEO move to like keep his business running, but also not caring. Like he's just caring about the money and like who cares if like 3 kids go missing, you know?
Steph, you are actually much closer than you think you
Oh
are to what's
shit.
about to start happening here.
Okay.
Because we're still in that era of like still building stuff.
Sure.
Another weird thing is trying to figure out where all these take place, like in a timeline. Essentially, I think the best way it's been explained is that Foxy Go 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 is first. No. Correction. Take Cakes to the Children is first. Then it's Foxy Go Go Go. Then it's Give Life, and then it's the full one there, where you have to travel around. I believe that one's actually called Find Me, before I forget.
Yeah.
And essentially, you survive. I did not put all the checks. I only put the bonus where you make an extra $20.10. This is the 6th night.
1987.
1987.
This is a month and 1 day before I was born.
Oh.
Is it really?
Yeah, it was December 12th.
Sam,
December 12th. December 14th is my birthday, 1987.
Sam, if you were a little older, you could have been killed in the pizzeria.
If only.
So,
Instead, I'm killing people in a pizzeria. Oops, did I say that out loud?
They upgraded, so your overtime pay is no longer 50 cents, but $20.10.
$20.10.
Look at that. Also, I'm interested in the fact that after being open only a few short weeks, meaning this whole like murder cycle it's not like, oh, this has been in operation for 3 years and then murders happen. It's more
Yes.
like, hey, it opened. The thing that's throwing me off is the fact that this looks so like dilapidated and years of neglect, but in reality, it's like only
A lot of it happened in a short
short
period of
weeks.
time.
And that to me sounds like this kind of destruction seems more intentional than just pure neglect.
Maybe.
Interesting.
Oh.
Oh, is this like an insurance fraud kind of thing? Like
It's
insurance scam?
it's way dumber when you get to the end of
Oh,
it.
okay.
But since you started reading that headline, do you want to finish
Oh,
it?
yeah, sure. Robots scrapped. Freddy Fazbears is closing. After being open only a few short weeks, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is closing its doors. The new animatronics will be scrapped due to possible malfunctions. However, the original characters are being kept in hopes of a possible reorganization of the company. Quote, "It's a minor setback. We are confident that we will reopen someday, even if it is with a much smaller budget," end quote, CEO, Fazbear Entertainment.
Does that seem very calm for children going missing?
It's a minor
100%.
setback.
It's just a minor
Minor
setback.
setback. Oh, that's like every CEO where it's just like, yeah, we laid off like 20,000 employees. They're setbacks,
It's
but
a lot of
we're fine.
corporate
We
talk.
ruined like a lot of people's lives, but it's fine. It's fine. A couple of things to know. Again, like I'm just going. I'm sure like people in the comments are like, "Duh, this is obvious," but I'm learning this like in real time here.
Mhm.
But I like the idea of like we will reopen someday, even if it's with a much smaller budget. Meaning they probably didn't have the money to run the first place, which kind of like
Like they blew everything without realizing how much they were spending.
yeah, exactly. So much smaller budget, but they're keeping like the characters. So it's like
But Steph, the robots have face scanning technology that can catch predators
I wonder if this was more
in the
like
80s.
I feel like if this was more like a front in a sense where it's like maybe they were testing out like tech
Mhm.
for some weird project or I
It's
don't know.
MK
Like
Ultra, but with kid
yeah,
murder.
I'm trying to think like why would you because that's the thing, it's like why would you need face scanning for predators? Like either that's gotta be like a personal vendetta that CEO has, or like somebody has like some weird tech project that they couldn't acquire a loan properly because they think it's controversial or whatever. So it's like, all right, fuck it. We'll just instead get a loan for us being children's entertainment as our like our
As our
guys.
front.
Yeah, as a front for like this questionable experiment. Like I can see that happening.
It's actually, you're not that far off.
Okay.
Yes,
I'm
Sam.
just gonna say I was not listening to a word you just said. I'm too
God.
busy reading the other article that says blah blah. This ad has blank anything, something blah blah. It's clearly just fodder.
It is.
And
So,
down to the bottom, you can clearly see
it's just the
underneath
blah, blah,
budget.
blah,
It says
blah,
blah
blah,
blah
blah.
blah. I love that shit.
The funniest thing is, I'm not showing you the opening articles. When you start both these games, there's things like they're like old hiring ads, like looking for night security.
Yeah.
And around it, it'll be things like that. And one of them in the first game is literally blah, blah, blah. You probably won't survive the fourth night, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, fun.
And it's just one of those things where he's just kind of talking shit to people. Actually, before I continue, because I'm forgetting things, because remember I mentioned Ralph, the phone guy?
Mhm.
Yeah.
For the first two games and a little bit of the third one, he actually calls you and he leaves a message. He doesn't even have the respect to call you when you start work. He leaves you a message where he tries to explain things, and essentially it's actually Scott Cawthon's voice. He actually voiced it in his own
Figured.
Oh,
game.
that's fun.
That's how indie this is. He's the only voice
Hello.
actor.
Hello.
Yeah. Where essentially it's to explain certain mechanics. Like it tries to explain Foxy in the first game and all that. This game it actually kind of explains some lore bits because you actually get to hear him freak out about them finding the children. Where it's like, oh, something's happened. They used a suit, a yellow one, and people are assuming that it's Golden Freddy. We'll get into how it's not Golden Freddy here in the next game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I forgot to mention that he's always around talking a little bit about lore stuff.
Okay, cool.
Any questions on FNAF 2? I know we kind of just went over, but nothing major.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
No, I don't believe so.
All right, so everyone understands that FNAF 2 is actually a prequel to the first one?
Oh, is that okay? So it's a pre. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Every-
because the place looked bigger than
Oh,
the,
it's- yeah,
the
it's way
first
bigger.
the first one.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so that makes sense with a much smaller budget, which explains why the first game had half the cast because it's half the characters, right?
Yeah, pretty much. That's a good
Okay.
lore, like,
I like
retconning
that.
reason of why that
That's
happens.
fun. However, what I don't like
hmm
is the fact that this check said 142. And well, I guess if you're starting a new company, you would start from 0. Sorry, it's just the previous check was like
Said,
1, 2, 3.
said 0,
1, 2, 3, and this one
Oh.
says 142. But again, you're starting with a new company, so never mind. You probably will start.
Of
with
all
0.
Explain
things,
that.
you're
Explain that, Derek.
explain how checks work in the 80s and 90s.
I've done invoices, and it's like no, you don't start over. You start with 0. But also, like I'm sure my admin like skills are very garbage, so it's like
I love of all things you're worried about the checks.
And where's the routing number and the account number and the name of the bank? What the fuck?
Are they withholding taxes?
Something
They don't pay
about this seems
taxes.
illegitimate.
It's a religion. They don't pay taxes.
It's non-profit.
Our Lord and Savior, Freddy Fazbear. And now we're going to move on to the third
Next.
one, which,
How many games are there?
depending on who you talk to and what you're going to consider lore,
Good answer.
there could be either like 9 games or 13 games, roughly.
Okay.
So most people, at least like when you look on the wiki, say they're at 11, and then the 12th one's going to be coming out soon. But there's some spin-offs that I would consider at least important enough to recognize,
Okay.
which we'll talk about those. Those only have one slide. But yeah, before we continue, actually, I wanted to point it out there was a prequel because people keep pointing out that it says 1987 on it.
Mhm.
Another one has 19XX.
Yeah.
Forgot to say in the first game, there's a big, well, not a big, but there's a small little bit where they talk about something called the Bite of 87. Does everyone know the Markiplier joke?
I've heard like everybody reference it. I
Mhm.
don't know what it means, but I've heard it.
So in 1987, someone got bit in the head and lost their frontal lobe. They
Oh.
lost the whole, pretty much Phineas Gage.
I assume
ish.
by an animatronic.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's always been the big mystery of like who actually did it.
Was it a child who got bit, or was it like an adult who got bit?
So 1987, they do not specify,
Okay.
but most people think it's Jeremy Fitzgerald here. They believe that
Um,
he was the bite victim of 87,
uh-huh.
but there's no way to majorly prove it. That's more theory crafting.
Okay.
FNAF 3, The Revenge. It's not called The Revenge, but it feels like The Revenge.
Okay.
The FNAFing.
That sounds dirty. March 2nd, 2015, only 112 days after the second game.
Good on you, man.
Actually, depending on the interview, so like there's earlier interviews where he kind of corrects himself. This was going to be the end. It was going to be a trilogy of games, and this was going to be the finish.
Okay.
And that's about it. And it takes place in the future. The way they explain this is that it's supposed to take 30 years after Freddy's closes.
Mm.
But people don't know what that means. Like, is it when the first look? Well, when FNAF 1, it ends. People think it takes place in the 90s. They kind of narrowed it down to 93. That's the going theory.
Okay.
So 30 years after that would be 2023,
Okay.
even though this game came out in 2015.
Sure.
But there's no way to really prove that because it's XX. You just have to guess.
Right.
So it's always been a toss-up. But most people, if you look at a timeline, they tend to put this on the later end in the 2020s.
Okay.
And Scott has never once bothered to say the first game canonically takes place in the year of our Lord and Savior, 1992.
To my knowledge, no. I've never actually seen anything where it's like hard stated. It's like, this is it.
All right.
You can see we have on the far right, we have 6 animatronics here that all look a little roughed up.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. And then we have a new star here. Did anyone want to try and take a crack at what that new animatronic's name is?
We're talking about Skinny Boy down there?
No, to the left, the one that has the full body there.
Oh.
Oh, the rabbit one?
Yes.
His name is Jonathan Bartholomew Malpractice.
Specifically malpractice.
Esquire.
Can never be a doctor.
Esquire. No, because he's a lawyer.
Can
Can you have malpractice if you're a lawyer?
No.
I was going to say it's a doctor thing, right?
Yeah, it's a doctor thing.
Oh, okay.
He could be a lawyer with a doctorate degree.
What's his name?
So wait, isn't the rabbit in the first game like called Bonnie?
Yes.
Okay, so it's Bad Bonnie.
Ah, hola.
Everyone's favorite Puerto Rican rapper, Bad Bonnie.
Puerto Rican animatronic.
Here's the thing. Later on, there is one animatronic that's canonically Mexican.
Oh, it's
So we'll see that maybe a little later. But no, we are meeting Springtrap.
Oh, I've heard that name.
Have you?
Yeah, I've heard the name Springtrap. I don't know anything about him, but I know I've heard the name.
So Springtrap essentially is our big bad. Remember the purple guy who kept showing up everywhere?
Yeah.
Freddy Fazbear?
Oh, not Mr. Fazbear himself, no. He goes by the name of... Quick side note. People who know him as William Afton now, for the longest time, no one knew what his name was.
Oh, okay.
That's one of those things where it was revealed in the book, and people were like, is that the same name? And then later on, in a few other games later down the line, they actually say Mr. Afton. People are like, oh, his name's actually William Afton. But for right now, people only know him as Springtrap. Does anyone want to take a guess why his name is Springtrap?
I'm going to assume, unless you want to take a guess.
Yeah!
Like,
That's pretty good.
Everybody's just listening. I'm doing a bear trap
Yes.
thing with my hands.
So, do you want to
Do you elaborate anymore?
Yeah, no, I was actually gonna go off of that where it's like because you mentioned this is like the purple guy, the guy who's been essentially murdering children.
This is the guy who's been taking them all out.
So I'd imagine like the children who've been stuck in the bodies of the animatronics are like, hey, we're gonna make you suffer the same fate as we, and so we're gonna concoct some kind of trap to get you trapped while you are still alive into this body, and you're gonna suffer eternal death without actually dying.
We will see the mini game later, but you are pretty much correct. So remember the face scans I was telling you about with
Yeah.
the toy
Yeah.
animatronics?
Uh-huh.
So they also have technology
Mhm.
called spring suits, which are giant animatronic suits that have spring locks in them that you can turn and they will move the spring locks out of the way. And you can get inside the animatronic and walk around in it. Kind of like, you know how people dress as Chuck E. Cheese when Chucky
Sure.
goes away.
Okay.
Now imagine that, but you're walking into the robot.
Mm.
So he pretty much gets into that suit and all the spring locks unspring and they stab his body essentially in half like a twig.
That's incredible. This is like
Aw.
some Saw shit. I love it.
Honestly, yeah. This is actually really
And his
awesome.
soul is now trapped in the suit or something, and he's.
Yep, he pretty much just like the children. He's now stuck in this suit.
That's cool. I like
But
that.
unlike the children whose bodies presumably have been removed from the suits, because I believe there's one of the storybooks of the books, they go and look inside the animatronics and they're not there.
Mm.
Where he's unfortunately his body's in there. That's why this photo I have is actually his face underneath it. That's his eyeball coming through there.
That's cool.
Is it some unnamed dark magic that's sealing souls inside of these suits? Is it ever explained how the souls are stuck in there?
Maybe.
Okay.
Okay. It isn't over-explained because I do like this like mystery.
There's
of, like...
13 games. It's
Oh
it's
yeah,
it's
fair
gonna be
enough.
over-explained.
Fair
There's-
enough. I don't want midichlorians like involved in this. You know what I mean?
To be fair, the reason why I'm mostly doing the classic era here, we were going to talk about the future, the later games. They start to go from horror, like mysteries and like creepy ghost stories to more sci-fi.
Okay.
So we're probably going to get into stuff Steph's probably going to like. She's a big sci-fi nerd.
I mean, the Star Wars.
Her
prequel-
peacock feathers just went up.
No, because like the Star Wars prequels weren't like great when they try to over-explain like the Force and stuff like that.
Well, this
But-
kind of gets like that. They kind of
Okay.
over-explain. It's like,
Nice. I guess you know what. Here's the thing. I don't mind if things are over-explained if it's done in a way that feels like it. I don't want to say honors the spirit of the mystery, but kind of go like, how do we say this? Doesn't explain things for the sake of explaining things, you know? Which I know in FNAF isn't, like, even though it has extensive lore, I don't think the lore is particularly deep, if that makes sense.
it gets kind of deep.
Like, it's got layers, but, like, is
It's
there...
like an ogre. It has layers.
It sure does. But, like, I guess my question is, like, is the connective tissue just the fact that these are haunted animatronics? Or are there... I guess the question is, like, are there, like, actual characters and reoccurring, like, characters in this? Like, are we following any storylines? Or is it just, like, we are witnessing kind of, like, this curse that happens?
There are recurring characters, but most of them only get really fleshed out in the books. And since the books are in a separate universe,
Right.
it's a lot of guesswork where it's kind of like this character does this here, but do they do it in this universe type
Gotcha.
of deal. The only one who kind of stays the same is actually William Afton.
Okay. Because I think, like, I know you mentioned, like, oh, I love sci-fi, but the thing is that, like, I like to keep my horror and sci-fi a little separate because I think some of the joy of horror is the unknown, because it really is the fear of unknown. Like, the idea of being trapped in a suit, unending and undying, without understanding why it happened, is more horrifying than more like, oh, it's got some kind of, I'm making stuff up, you know, nanomachines that keep you alive or whatever. And it's like, guess so, but then now comes the question of like, all right, well, who made the nanomachines? Why they make the nanomachines? Versus like, this is just a curse because you're a shitty person. And to me, that's more horrifying because it's like there's no
Mother Nature is taking its anger
seriously,
out
it's
on you.
no because there's no entity to point a finger at. You know what I mean? And so because of that, it's like there's always the fear of like pissing off the wrong person, right? Which to me is like a greater fear than being like, well, just avoid the scientists in lab coats and you'll be fine. I guess that's kind of where
Always
I'm at.
avoid those scientists.
Where it's like, yeah, so that's pretty much what it is. It's not so much over-explaining, but more like removing the horror.
You guys are actually staying on track very well with what's going on here, especially with kind of predicting on where this train's going to go. But let's stay with FNAF 3. FNAF 3 supposedly takes place in 2023.
Okay.
It's your office and your boo hole. FNAF 3's canonical story is that a bunch of guys who know about the lore, essentially, like they know about the murders, were like, let's make a haunted attraction about this and make money. This would be the equivalent if someone made a haunted house about the Zodiac Killer.
Yeah, honestly,
It's a little tasteless.
Yes, very
Oh,
tasteless.
it's tasteless, but I love like that concept as a horror thing
Yeah.
because that's something that people would do.
Exactly.
And so
It's gonna
obviously there's
happen.
consequences that also, it's the future because everything's green. I'm just putting that out there.
Everything's green in the future.
Like whenever you think of the future, it's like, ah, yes, the Matrix. This futuristic movie from 20 years ago.
And so at the bottom here, I explained it as one door,
Mhm.
one vent. We still have to deal with vents. This one's to our far right. It's another huge vent that you can see Springtrap actually crawl through to get to you.
Ooh.
One window, which is kind of important. Animatronics pop up there. There's no air in this building. It is explained in the very first day when you listen to the phone guy. Sorry, the phone dude. The phone guy is no longer here. It's 30 years later. Scott Cawthon does his best, like, surfer bro dude voice.
Oh my god.
He's like, hey, man, glad you could make it to work. And he talks about stuff. He explains that the ventilation in this building, that they are going to have people walk through, essentially conga line style, cannot actually get rid of air properly, and you have to reset it. And if not, toxins will build up in the building and kill you.
That's great.
That's a pretty cool mechanic.
Yeah, it is. But if you went into a building and you were told, yeah, the ventilation doesn't work in here, it could kill you if you walk through it. Essentially, it's a giant carbon monoxide
Yeah.
hazard.
I have a feeling the fire marshal will probably say no. Absolutely not.
The fire marshal will have a lot of things to say by the end of this game.
Fire marshal should be saying a lot of things already about everything going on with these buildings.
What the fire marshal don't know don't hurt.
I mean, the exact opposite is true, actually. What the fire marshal doesn't know hurts.
Hurts a lot
Hurts
of
a
people.
lot.
But as you can see in the office here, there's actually little scraps of animatronics. So there's some toy Chicas and toy Bonnies there. You see Foxy's hook there.
Yeah.
Because since it takes place 30 years later, a lot of this stuff, like animatronics, don't exist anymore. They're all gone.
Mm.
This whole game setup is them finding William Afton and being like, oh, we found an animatronic. We have one that we can put in the building. Not realizing it's a killer in a suit. And you have to sit and survive in this room every night with this random animatronic that's trying to kill you.
Oh, so wait, so like it's just one animatronic?
It's just one animatronic.
It's like a real life Annabelle kind of situation.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
So those other 6 animatronics I showed that are kind of burnt up and nasty looking,
Yeah.
those are, what's the best word I'm going to look for? Your imagination would be the best thing. So when the air gets toxic, you start to hallucinate.
Okay.
And they will come in and mess with you. So pretty much it's just an excuse to have a whole bunch of jump scares that don't kill you.
Oh,
So there's one where Freddy in front of that window will literally just slowly walk, and then he just pops up from the bottom of the screen and scares you. And it messes with your cameras, it messes with your audio.
Like Slade in that episode of Teen Titans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Steph doesn't get that reference.
No, I get it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Did you watch Teen Titans?
I did.
Oh, okay.
It's a good show.
I always love that scene where Raven's like in Robin's mind and she sees Slade. I think that's always kind of cool. So like, okay, so it's in Robin's head, but it's real.
Yeah.
This is the layout of the pizzeria. I picked 4 of my favorite photos just of how the cameras. These are some of the camera angles.
Slide 4 is scary.
Slide 4 is actually Chica. That's one of those things where if you see Chica on that arcade machine, you have to leave that camera immediately. And if not, she'll come into the office and get you. Well, scare you. One thing I do want to note here is we have an evolution in gameplay again. These little black corridors looking things are actually the ventilation system.
Okay.
So when Springtrap goes into the ventilation system, they somehow have doors on the ventilation that you can close off and lock so that he can't crawl through that way. So like, let's say he's crawling towards you. There'll be like one little gate there, you can close it, but you can only close one gate at a time. You cannot close all of them, apparently.
From the same surplus store that was failing
Yes.
in its designs.
I mean, if the air can't ventilate properly anyways, I mean...
Yeah,
Only
exactly.
one vent works.
But yeah, I just kind of always like these ones. These two cameras are actually 4 and 2 there, are the same ones, just a little closer. 'Cause that's the arcade machine all the way down at the end of the hall.
This is very much a side tangent,
Yeah.
but I absolutely adore the art style here. Like, this very much gives me PS1 survival horror vibes.
Oh,
The
yeah.
fact with the fixed camera, which I'm pretty sure that's in its intent, because we're talking about like a game made in like 2015. But there's something really charming about these that you don't really see that now. Like, I look at these and I go like, yes, that's FNAF. Like, it's one of those things where it's like the original games. It is very crude looking art, but because of that, I can recognize it, especially
Yeah.
somebody who hasn't played these games. I can look at those and
It
go,
has
"Oh,
very
I know what that
iconic
is."
shapes.
Yeah, and just the texture, the
It's kind
lighting.
of like when you see when they put characters, but they put them blacked out. You can still like, who's that Pokemon?
Oh yeah,
type
the
type of deal.
silhouettes. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
the
it just
silhouettes
goes
work.
to show that you really don't need like extremely high definition graphics to really make a memorable looking game.
Especially
Yeah.
for these, because in game there's obviously static screens and all that, so it doesn't look this clean when you're
Yeah.
actually looking at it.
Right.
I didn't explain how Springtrap actually operates.
Oh yeah.
He obviously still number generating. He'll slowly move towards you and stuff like that. But he has a thing where you can play a voice line of a child in each little room, and there's a chance for him to get distracted and be like, "There's children in here," and wander over to investigate. So you pretty much have to keep him away from you by using these sound cues.
Okay.
Not impressed with that?
It's just who's that like aside from perverts, who's that obsessed with children?
Remember, he is a cursed lost soul trapped in a
Okay,
meat
yeah.
body. I think it's
trapped
like
in a meat body.
I think like
Who's not a lost soul trapped in a meat body?
I know
Am I
I
right?
am.
I think it's like, and same thing with the kids who were trapped in the original animatronics. I think it's basically going by ghost rules, where it's like whatever obsessive dark thought that took over your mind is really what's fueling most of your actions.
Okay, sorry.
I actually want to give out a theory. I don't go through a lot of theories, but I've always liked this one.
Mm-hmm.
So it is explained that the older suits, which Springtrap is an older suit that he jumped into, have a function where if they hear children, like if they hear children in another room and they're in a quiet room,
Right.
they'll go there to be like, "Oh, this is where the kids are. This is where the party is."
Mm.
So that's my favorite working theory, is that he's not doing it on purpose, like the suit's taking over, and it's like, we need to go this way,
Okay,
and
I
it's
like that.
dragging. That's not canon, but I like that as an idea.
Right, because it's like conflicting with what he wants versus what the curse wants,
Yeah.
essentially.
There's a little bit more to that theory, but I'll explain that when we get later on. But I've always liked that idea of like, well, yeah, why does he keep going into these rooms? Clearly, he will eventually realize he's a smart grown man. He would eventually realize there's nobody in here except for me and this guy.
Right.
Why not just walk over here, get him, and leave?
Right.
Honestly, why you don't even have to kill him? You could just leave. So, anyways, but then my very last slide. You know how Steph, you know how you're talking about him getting caught in the suit?
Uh-huh.
Some of the mini games, there's obviously mini games in this. These ones are a little bit weirder, where instead of happening during death, you have to actually do little tasks. Like there'll be a thing where in your office, there's a little like stone pad, and you have to treat it like as a numeric keypad and type in little different little codes to get things done.
Mm-hmm.
So on and so forth. It's a lot more like mystery-ish, where you can completely miss it if you're not paying attention type deal. It's like you have to look up a guide. If you really
Okay.
know what you're doing, you have to look up a
Oh,
guide
it's
to
very
get through it.
obtuse.
Yes,
Like a
exactly.
traditional point and click like adventure.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's what this reminds me of. I'm sorry, I rescind my statement. Not as a PS1 game. I mean, probably also, but like those
The
point and click.
LucasArts
Yeah, the
games.
LucasArts point and click adventure games. That's exactly what I was thinking of. I'm sorry, but go on. I just missed that era of
No, that's right.
games.
They're never coming back. Actually, they might, because
they-
they're remastering the Sam Max games.
I was gonna say
so.
there's that, but also the indie scene has really been popping off lately. Which is amazing. Like, I guess the retro, right? Like retro looking games. So I think we're gonna get a renaissance of
Point and click
point and click.
adventures.
Yeah,
Um,
especially with like games like
but I'm going to show you one of the mini games. This is one of my many blurry gifts that I found for you guys.
Heck yeah.
Where the children scare him, he ends up in there, he laughs,
Oh,
and then they lock up,
nice.
and he dies.
I think that's pretty straightforward as to what happened.
Oh yeah, pretty much. So the mini games that happen a lot in these is slowly over time, each animatronic will walk through the pizzeria, and the purple guy will come out and dismantle them.
Mm.
Because the room we are currently standing in, where he keeps repeatedly dying because his gift's just going to keep replaying,
That's fine.
is a room that is not on any of the blueprints. So the animatronics, with all their computing power, can't recognize that this is a room. So he's been hiding out in here, essentially, where it's like, nah, they can't get me, I'm just in here. But since he destroyed all the animatronics, he eventually, all the ghosts are like, we're kind of free now. And they kind of scare him into the suit.
Oh, okay.
And then after he dies, they see him fade away.
Oh, I wonder if he got into the suit because it's like, oh, these children, I don't want these children to attack me. If I pretend to be one of their adorable characters, they'll leave me alone.
That's actually kind of a working theory. I think it's pretty much this is the suit he used to kill people. So it's like his protective blanket almost.
Oh, I didn't realize that was the suit he killed people with.
Yes.
I thought he just killed people like just as a like normal murderer with
Nope. He went full creep. Oh well, there's a few times like where he drives up and just kills the person in the car.
that's what I thought.
But a lot of the children who get killed and put stuffed into the suits, he wore the mascot costume. We were like, come back here with me where there's no cameras.
Which goes back to one of the news clippings where it says that the children were lured by animatronic characters. Okay. Also, is the roof leaking?
It is. So it's always debated when this happens in the timeline. Some people think it happens after this Freddy's closes, so it's dilapidated, so there's water leaking because it's raining.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the spring locks respring. So pretty much they get wet and they unre-spring.
Okay.
So is the Purple Man Afton?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure, because you called him the Purple Man before, and then the name Afton came up, and I'm...
Yeah, because for the longest time, at least in the games, he actually doesn't have a name. People just refer to him as Purple. In the 8-bit mini games,
Right.
he's Purple. We learned his name 2-3 games from now, canonically, in the video games, but in the books, he was William Afton, I think, within like the first 2 or 3 novels. We're going to move on to what I honestly think is not the jump the shark moment when it comes to the story, but the jump in the shark moment where it comes to look how cool the animatronics look type blur. Because we are now
the Lucas era. Oh, look at all the CG. Look at all this budget.
We have so much money we can waste it on animation.
Every frame is dense.
Because now we are moving on to FNAF 4, the final chapter.
The FNAFing.
The FNAFing.
Now, fun fact, it actually did have the tagline, the final chapter.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't know if that meant he wanted to do 4 and then be like, okay, now we're going to stop. And he just can't stop himself, essentially. Or if it's a reference to Friday the 13th. Because in Friday the 13th, the 4th one was called the final chapter. And then it made a bunch of money, and pretty much, that's not Paramount. Is it Paramount? Whoever makes Friday the 13th, because I know it's New Line nowadays. Where it's pretty much like, we need to make more of these. These are making money. They look cool, don't they?
They look awesome.
They look like... So... Okay, so they look fine. I think the thing that stands out to me is the fact that it's like, how do I make these things scarier? Because he's done other designs,
them dismantled,
and all this stuff. So it's like, where do you go from here? And it's like, let me add more teeth, because that's the first thing that comes.
They have rows on top of rows of teeth.
Is fine, but it's just interesting the evolution of like how each, especially for like FNAF 2, where it's like everybody's taken apart but in different ways. But this one, it's like they're all teeth, which again,
they're all teeth.
They're all teeth. So
FNAF 4, more teeth.
The teething.
That's the thing. It's like that's just the first thing my eye draws to, which kind of, I mean, it kind of goes into like almost straddle the lines of like parody, but it's interesting nonetheless. Also, I feel like, is it just me, or is Foxy's face like much elongated, or it has like?
Well, he's a side profile in this picture.
Okay.
So that's why actually one of the Scott has a website. He has 2 websites. He has one that's named after himself, and he has one that's named after FNAF, obviously.
Okay, sure.
And these were all little teaser images where they would have things where it's like they have small little hidden messages like, was it me or maybe me? Pretty much people thought that was referring to the bite of 87.
Bite, yeah.
But I don't think that was ever explained on why that was actually a thing.
Okay.
Foxy's side profile is actually really interesting because he has a tongue in this one.
Yeah.
When he was making the game, like, I think he said like last second, he's like, the tongue doesn't look scary. So he doesn't have a tongue in the game. So it's only in promotional videos. It's kind of like how there's Blue Shirt Bart.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird like that. This one is kind of the first game where you get to move. You're still stuck in this room, but because you're in a house, clearly you're in a bedroom, you actually have to get up and walk over to the doors and look down the hallway to see if the monsters are down there.
This looks like a rough draft image from like the first Toy Story before it was fully rendered. Like what's in the drafting phase.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they're just putting like the I forgot the word. Just the elements, the things that they need.
Yeah, like they'll block out the gray boxing, which is
Yeah.
now I'm going to look up like what engine this was made in, because obviously it's no longer pre-rendered because you're walking around, right? Like in real time.
Well, not
Or is
it's
it
kind of like a little cutscene. So when you move over to the doors, you like
okay.
look down and it kind of shifts the carpet like you're walking, and then you come up next to
Oh,
the
But
I
door.
you're
see.
not freely, you're just kind of like you point one direction and you transition over to that door,
Exactly.
right?
Kind of
Okay.
imagine like in
okay.
VR where you have, instead of walking, you just click and it teleports you a
Yeah.
little
Okay.
bit.
Because yeah, I guess Sam's right. Because it's one of those things where it's like, I guess with the previous games, there's so much texture and grunge,
Mhm.
and here it looks
Squeaky.
squeaky clean. Which obviously you're going to explain this, but I'm curious as to why we're in a house now as opposed to a
So
establishment.
depending on your theory, this could be a number of reasons why you're in this house. I'll explain that at the end a little bit, actually. So I would just kind of explain how the layout of this is, because there's the map to your right. You know how detailed all the other maps have been?
Mm-hmm.
That map's actually from a little cheat code. If you finish the game, you can set that up so you can actually see the animatronics move.
Mm.
But we're kind of going a little bit back to basics because Bonnie goes down the left hallway, Chica goes down that right hallway.
Mm-hmm.
But we have two kind of new things now. The first one is that closet in front of you. Foxy will run down, come in the room, and then hide in the closet.
Okay.
And you have to walk up to the closet. I believe that's my next slide. No, it'll be the next slide after that. You have to close it, and he turns from this huge monster mechanic thing with all these teeth into a cute little toy.
Hmm.
Huh.
And you have to keep checking on him every now and then. Now, the gray square behind you is where Freddy is.
Mm-hmm.
And on the bed, these little things called frettles will pop up on the bed and just kind of shake and sit there.
Okay.
And as soon as enough of them actually pop up, Freddy comes and he literally just picks you up because you're sitting at the foot of your bed.
Mm-hmm.
He will pick you up and turn you around and be like, "All right, now you're dead." Jump scare.
Okay.
They remind me of the Egg Boys from Hazbin Hotel.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's my weird thing I like about certain characters is when they're small little like imbeciles. Even though I don't like the minions, I like the egg boys and I like these things. Maybe it's just because I don't like popular things, I don't know. But yeah, that's Foxy.
Oh,
It'll literally
that's
just
cute.
Oh, he's cute.
when you open it up,
Oh.
he literally will scream at you, and then you have to close it, and then eventually he'll go to that little toy.
Oh, so then it's probably like a child who probably like has nightmare. You know, because like I don't know about you, but like, so as a kid, obviously like some animatronics creep me out, as some
Yeah.
kids get that. But like, it was one of those things where it's like sometimes your imagination takes a hold of you,
Yeah,
right?
and you
And
freak yourself out.
so I'm sorry. I know I'm like jumping in way too early to this explanation, but I'm almost wondering is like, oh, is this like a kid's imagination after visiting like Fazbear?
Well, that's actually
Coming
what I want you
home.
guys to do guesswork.
Oh,
I want
okay,
you guys to try and
sure.
figure out things before I actually get to it, because I like hearing what people who don't actually know what's going on kind of guess,
Mm-hmm.
because you're kind of close depending on who you want to believe.
Sure.
Because the idea here is never fully explained,
Mm-hmm.
but there is a theory in one of the books this type of situation happens, but it's found out that it's not a child, it's just a person who's being tortured, and the animatronics aren't real. Like they're real animatronics, but they don't look like that. They have, depending on which one you're going with, little discs that mess with your like mind, or there's gas that's messing with your mind, and you're seeing the monsters. So they're being like forcefully put upon you that they look like this.
I guess, and this is not a plausible theory just because the bedroom has kids' toys in it and it
Yes.
looks like a child's room, but I kind of like the idea of like a CEO or a member of the CEO family
hmm
being kind of tortured by the idea or like by specters essentially.
Now that's the second, well, that's probably the more popular theory
Right.
is, to make a long story short, the CEO who runs this corporation
Yeah.
is the purple guy. who is William Afton.
Oh, okay. So then I'm gonna take back that theory then because
Don't take it back. That's a good theory.
yeah.
Because the theory here is that he's torturing one of his kids to see if the technology will work properly. And so, he's essentially using one of his sons as a test experiment.
Okay, so he's like, hey, look, I own this company. Look at these marketable plushies, but
Yeah.
also
I can use them for fear.
Yeah, interesting.
We're going to explain why fear is important here in like 3-4 games.
Sure.
But before we go further, there's actually mini games in this one.
Okay.
There are 2 different types of mini games. There's 8-bit ones that aren't really games more than they are story pieces where you walk around as a character called the Crying Child. People have argued what his name could be, so it's easier just to call him the Crying Child for right now because his big thing is when you see him, he's always crying.
Oh.
No, you wouldn't say. And it shows his like day-to-day thing for each day and talks about pretty much how he's scared of Freddy's. He doesn't like Freddy's. He's always being dragged there. People are like, why is he always being dragged there?
It's like, do you not like the loud, moving, inanimate objects? It's just one of those things where like people will bring me like, I remember as a kid, they'll bring me like those toys that you press and they'll make noise.
Yes.
Or like even greeting cards that make noise. Freak me the fuck out because I'm like, this is an inanimate object. It is not alive. Why is it making noise? So like, I would be that child who would freak out at a Chuck E. Cheese because I'm like, they're not real. What?
Tickle Me Elmo did a real number.
It really
on
messed
her.
you there.
I don't like things that make noises.
Did you never go to Chuck E. Cheese when you were younger?
I did, and you know what? But I didn't go until like older,
Mhm.
because I don't think there was a Chuck E. Cheese near me growing up until like when I was like maybe my almost too old to go to Chuck E. Cheese. You know what I mean? I was at the age where I'm like I didn't want to see the show. I wanted to play the arcade games.
Yeah.
Because I do have memories at Chuck E. Cheese, but not one when I was super young, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
I don't think I grew up near one. I did grow up near a Discovery Zone, and let me tell you, better than Chuck E. Cheese. I'm sorry. Continue.
No, you're fine. I've used to go to a place called I just forgot the name of it.
Chuck E. Cheese.
No, but it was essentially a Chuck E. Cheese, but without the animatronics. It had this huge like playroom thing, kind of like how they have the tubes up top.
Yeah.
It was one of those type of things. It was really fun.
I would go to Foam Factory. You ever
Oh,
hear
it's-
that place?
No, I've never heard
No.
of that one.
It's in Georgia. It's just they had a bunch of foam balls, and it was like 2 or 3 levels,
Mhm.
and you could just like they had cannons, and it was like a castle style. You go up like
Oh.
rope nets, and you like fill up mesh bags with foam balls, load them into cannons, and shoot them at other kids.
That's so cool.
It was fun as hell. Oh my
The
god!
very recently closed Six Flags America (RIP) had a building like that dedicated to the Looney Tunes.
Okay.
So I kind of know what you're talking about there. So that was the first mini game, which are pretty much just story pieces, and we'll come back to that for the ending. But the second one is Fun with Plush Trap.
Okay.
He's cute.
They've turned him into a very marketable plush.
Yeah.
And the whole idea is that little white X right there.
Mm-hmm.
You have to turn the lights off completely,
Mm-hmm.
and he will get up and move. And you have to shine the light on him right when he lands on that X.
Okay.
So it's just this cute little mini game where you'll shine the light, and you'll see him like in one of those doorways, and he'll just go back and hide.
Okay. Fun.
And I think it's really neat. It has nothing really to do with Major League lore. I believe Scott has said that this has nothing to do, it's not important whatsoever. But there is not a spin-off, but a reskin, because this game a lot of games usually get Halloween updates where they make things Halloween-y.
Okay.
Where instead of Plush Trap, it's Fun with Balloon Boy, but he's all creepy with the big teeth, kind of like all the rest of the animatronics here.
Oh, neat.
And apparently that is canon to a point,
Okay.
which is kind of weird.
That is a little weird because it doesn't really explain much. Question.
Yes.
What happens if Plush Trap is on the X?
If you land him on the X, you get to start your night 2 hours ahead of time. So instead of surviving 6 hours, you only have to survive 4. And if you lose, you just get jump scared and move on to the next one.
Okay, fair enough. I'd imagine this is like something that Scott programmed as a fun mini game. It's just like just gonna leave this here.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think even after you beat the game, you can just play this separately if you want to get better at it. And obviously, each night the timer, because you're on a timer.
Yeah.
Each night, if you, the timer gets shorter and shorter.
I wonder if, like, at any point Scott feels like, how do I say this? Like trapped within his own rules that he's made, and
hmm
he's like, at one point, it's like, I just want to make fun mini games with no lore attached, but now it's like, if I really want to make money, it has to have the FNAF title to it.
Even if he did, the fans are gonna dissect it so hard.
Yeah,
He
like
has
they'll
to
dig into
say
it. Like
that
it
there's
must
no
connect
lore.
That's got to be
somehow.
like an awful hell because it's just like now people are picking apart all your work, and it's like, guys, I just want to make fun mini games.
Now,
Like,
now here's actually the funny thing.
yeah.
Scott actually does make like little spoof games, like he'll make stuff for April Fool's Day and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that, where it will have nothing to do with like lore purposes. Like there's a thing called FNAF like 57.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
It's like,
okay.
what is
Yeah.
this? It's like, oh, it's Freddy in space, and it'll be a little 2D side-scrolling like shooter
I
game.
love that. Okay, cool. I like that. I like
So
that he plays around with that. That he's like, hey, this is my IP. I can do whatever I
yeah,
want with
exactly.
it.
It's fun.
I
It's all
respect that.
shits and giggles.
That's cool.
He's done that before where he's like, I'm gonna release this game tomorrow. Be like, oh, it's coming out tomorrow. It's coming out early. And no one realizes it's April Fool's Day, and it's just like it has nothing to do with this game. So we're gonna go back to the crying child because this is the big thing. Because this is where the meme where Markiplier goes, "Is this the bite of 87?" That's this meme.
Okay.
Okay.
Because at the end, his story ends with him getting his head chomped.
So
Oh.
it was Freddy that did it.
It was the yellow version of Freddy, which would
Golden
be Golden
Freddy.
Freddy,
Okay.
which technically kind of gets a bit of a different name here because there's Freddy Fazbear, and then there's Fredbear, which
Mhm.
apparently are slightly different characters. So kind of like how Mickey isn't always the same Mickey Mouse, I
Yeah.
guess would be the same
So
thing.
they're
Okay.
two different suits.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
yes.
And the kids are just watching, or do they eventually react? And why is Green Shirt Kid so muscular?
He's buff as shit, isn't he?
Yeah.
The worst part is not rude. The Foxy is also kind of
Yeah,
buff.
they're all
Yeah.
kind of
Oh,
beat.
fuck
Those are some
yes.
beefed up kids.
So this is where the theory of Afton messing with one of his children is. The one in the Foxy mask is the older brother, and the kid who's currently getting his head crushed is the younger brother.
Is this canon?
Yes.
Okay.
So they canonically bullied the smaller child, and
Oh.
they're like, Freddy wants to see him. He wants to see Freddy up close, and they stuff his head in
Oh.
there, and it chomps.
Yeah, that's okay. Okay, that makes sense. Where it's like, kids being mean to each other, which is kind of preluded by like the kids taking apart like Mangle,
Yeah,
which kind of shows that like
they're not the nicest
Kids
kids in this
suck.
area.
kids can be cruel if how do I say this? Put in the right environment and not given like guidance, like, hey, maybe you
Lord
shouldn't
of
do
the
this.
Flies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, pretty much
exactly,
Lord of the Flies
Is that what
essentially.
you read
situation.
books?
Yeah.
Now,
So this, I'm sorry. So this isn't like established that this is the CEO kids or.
no, this is established. Well, it's heavily implied, and then
Mhm.
eventually it is established later on.
So where, I guess, was it established that those two kids are siblings?
So in the mini games that happen in this game, even though I'm not showing all of them,
Sure.
you end up in his house and they're together, and
Oh.
he's constantly scaring him with the mask.
Okay. So this makes a lot of sense then that that's the younger kid because I'd imagine his older brother is like torturing him, hence
Yes,
why all the plushies look very scary to him because he's just like going through this
that's a theory.
like bullying and
Yeah,
that's just how he's processing all this. So I guess my question is for this like I'm sorry,
you're good.
segueing into my next question. I know how you can basically stop Foxy, but how do you stop the other characters? Like what are the mechanics for the other characters around the house?
Okay, stopping the other characters in the house, you
Yeah.
literally, Freddy, you flash the light, and the Freddos will leave.
Okay.
Foxy, it's no longer flashing light. That was the last game. Foxy, you have to close the doors, and he'll
Okay.
slowly go back.
Uh-huh.
Same thing for the other two. If you hear them,
Mm-hmm.
this is the mechanic where you can't see out. You can flash the light, but if you flash the light, they'll get you.
Mm-hmm.
You have to stop and listen for them breathing, and if you
Mm-hmm.
hear them, you just close the door and hold it. And then eventually, I guess they give up and walk away.
Okay, so this is gonna sound a stretch,
hmm
like a ridiculous theory that has no water or weight. I'd imagine this is like the kid trying to process, like, oh, I hear my brother coming down the hall, right? Therefore, I should hide, or I should hide in the closet. These are like hiding tactics, I
hmm
guess. So I'd imagine, again, just going back to like the kid just kind of like trying to process the horrors of like
A bully, essentially.
bullying. Yeah, where it's like, hey, this person's supposed to be my brother, my friend, but instead he's a monster. And so something that's supposed to be friendly is actually be seen as something grotesque and horrifying and hurtful, which culminates of the poor kid getting chomped, because it's like, something that's supposed to be an icon of like fun and safety
Yeah.
and entertainment for kids is actually pretty harmful, which I know isn't like super deep or anything like that, but I find it interesting that this game is able to kind of at least give a hint or communicate that
Mhm.
without explicitly saying like this kid has trauma, because I do appreciate more nuance, like I'm not saying but I'm saying kind of thing, if that makes sense.
Well, there's kind of a side theory. Well, there's kind of a theory that kind of goes with that.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're playing the game, there is, whenever you turn around and look at Freddy, there's a chance that you'll see some form of like medical equipment, like either pills or like an IV bag and
Oh
stuff like
wow.
that.
Okay.
So people think it's the crying child mid-death, essentially, and
Mm-hmm.
he's kind of like tortured in his mind, and that's why there's
Mm.
medical stuff there. So it could be that where people think, oh, it's all internal,
Well, because you
so
said
getting
it
stressed.
it chomped his frontal lobe, right?
So before we go any
Oh,
further,
sorry, go ahead.
I have not explained this is not the bite of 87.
Oh, because it says
Oh.
1983 on the
Canonically,
screen.
this is 1983 to a lot of people because in the mini games, there's a bit where you walk up to a TV and it turns on, and Fredbear and Friends takes place in 1983. So there are a lot of people who consider there to be two bites, one that happens in 83, which is this one, and then 87, which would be the gentleman in the second
The
game.
chomp of 83 and the bite of 87.
Honestly, that would have made it a whole lot easier if they did it that way.
Okay.
Or, in this wild theory,
Hmm.
no weight or water. Fries, sorry, wait, yeah, Fredbear and Friends,
Yes.
is like a pre-existing show before the entertain, like how do I say this? Before like the
The
showbiz.
franchise, yeah.
Yeah, it's basically, let's just say I'm gonna use this example, right? Sesame Street, right? That exists as a show, and if somebody decided, hey, Sesame Street is so popular, we're gonna start opening like franchises,
Hmm.
like showbiz.
Hmm.
I'd imagine it could be something like that, where it's like Fredbear is a huge franchise that existed beyond like the showbiz,
Hmm.
and the CEO, and this goes back to my theory of like the CEO wanting to have like some nefarious technology or medical practice or whatever, and
Hmm.
he's like, hey, wait a minute, these are like, I need a bunch of children for whatever reason for to run these experiments. Oh, I know what it'll attract children. My kid loves this show. I have a lot of money as a CEO. I'm gonna see if I can contact like the IP holders
And
and
make
see
a
if I can.
building out of this, a
Yeah,
whole
and it's like
show.
instead of starting an IP from scratch, which again, going back to the Fazbear has only been open for like a couple weeks.
Hmm.
That like, how can you get so many kids if your business is open for only a few weeks?
Yeah, it wouldn't be popular.
It doesn't wouldn't be popular unless you have a huge name attached to it.
Mhm.
So like maybe that could be a thing. I don't know. Like so like the bite. This might be the bite of 87, but the show has existed since 83.
Now, that's actually a good theory, and that's what a lot of people kind of thought was like, well, the TV show could be copyrighted at 83,
Yeah.
and then the thing. But it has been made canon in conversations that Scott's like, no, this bite takes place canonically in 83,
Okay. Never mind.
which is kind of weird because I think it's one of those things where he says there's no retcons, but there clearly has to be retcons at this point
Sure.
because up until now, the bite of 83 has never existed. It was never a thing, essentially.
Right.
Where
It
now
was.
apparently it's supposed to be the most important thing that could have happened.
Yeah, and you're right in terms of like this is pretty much a retcon because this is something that's never been hinted at.
Exactly, till
Um,
this game, essentially.
right. And so that's interesting that he chose that way. But again, I can't fault him for like either
Building on the
mistakenly
way
or
down.
just, hand waving it, because I feel like with FNAF, because this is very much like a game first,
Mhm.
lore second kind of thing. The lore is just there for fun. But it grew legs on its own. Um, I feel like you would need a spreadsheet to keep track of all this stuff, and something tells me
People have done that.
people have done that, but not the original developer. Again, I don't know the developer. I haven't seen any interviews. I don't know anything about this guy, but I have a feeling he doesn't have a spreadsheet keeping track of all of his lore. Like there's a point where he's like notes, but like 83, 87, whatever.
My biggest thing is I feel like because obviously this is already going into when theories were becoming really popular.
Sure.
I feel like he was making decisions based off of what he was seeing online instead of sticking to what he wanted to do, if
Right.
that makes any sense.
Which does make a lot of sense because, especially with knowing the first game was kind of like supposed to be his Final Fantasy, right? I don't think he wrote a story in mind. It's just, this is the container
Mhm.
to have my game in,
Yeah.
and I'm just making it up as I go along, which is totally fine. Like, that's fine. A lot of people do that. Um, But that just goes to show that how do I word this? Where there aren't a lot of creators that tend to plan like their in-depth lore before making the thing.
Exactly. They wait till it blows up and they're like, we have to now, explain
Exactly.
shit.
I have to continue making games, but I can't just do the same thing over and over if
That's kind of what I feel happened here.
Yeah.
One of my biggest things I always say is it got built. They built the wings on the way down.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
jumped first, and then like, we're gonna build them, and hopefully we build them before we hit the ground.
Yeah.
Type of attitude.
Exactly.
But yeah, so it's just kind of wasted. This game is probably the one that has the most questions attached to it.
Sure.
Because also, I don't have a slide for it. It ends with a box with two deadbolt locks on it, essentially. That you can just jiggle. And it's like, oh, maybe we'll open this one day. And it never fucking opens.
No.
And he's done in interviews, he's like, we're never going to open this box because what
Yeah.
was in it originally, we're not going to do.
What a
I've
cock
changed
tease.
I've changed the whole thing. And it's like, nope, we're going to just go away.
That's fine. He's allowed to do that. Maybe one lock is for one brother and the other lock is another. And since one's dead, they can't open the lock. I don't know.
So that's pretty much it for FNAF 4, at least to the point that I want to try and explain things.
Sure.
Anybody? Questions,
No,
concerns?
this is pretty important.
Who's the brown one out there? Is that
So these are just the bully's friends. Or are you talking about the rabbit?
The
I'm not
rabbit.
talking about the brown friend. I'm talking about the brown rabbit looking one. Is that
That is technically Spring Bonnie,
Spring Bonnie?
which is before, obviously, Afton jumps inside of him and it snaps.
And it becomes Spring Trap.
Exactly. 'Cause
Okay.
He's now trapped in the spring
Okay,
suit.
got it.
it.
But yeah, that's just kind of one of those things that canonically, to make it canon that this takes place in the past, because they're still using these old suits.
Yeah, okay.
Right. Okay.
Because you can kind of figure out the timeline depending on which suits were being used at the time. Kind of like generations like robots, where it's like,
Right.
this is Gen 1, so it has to be between these years and these years type of attitude.
Okay. That makes sense.
So we're going to move on to something completely different. I believe I only have one slide for this.
World of Warcraft. Oh.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's called FNAF World.
Oh,
That's
let's see. Look at
Whoa,
me.
what is this? I feel like this is like 6 different games in one. What's going on?
So after
This
the
looks like
fourth
Neopets.
Yeah.
after the fourth game ended, he wanted to do something different. So he kind of made, what would this be considered, where kind of like Final Fantasy, where you get to choose the items as things go along. You build a party.
Like a turn-based.
Yeah.
Like a
turn-based-
JRPG?
Yeah, kind of like a JRPG. And essentially, all the characters you've run into so far, you get to pick them, and they get to be buddies and go
Oh
around
my
and,
god, that's so cute.
and fight stuff.
I think every horror franchise should have something like this because I think it's really fun when you stick like horror icons in like completely different genres but still try to keep the flavor. Like I like how one of the moves is bite 2.
As opposed to bite 1.
Yeah. I'd imagine that's probably like the level or whatever.
Yeah,
of
it is.
But
Yeah, it is
like
different.
it's considering we know how important bites are in the lore.
Mhm.
But now it's like it's just part of a fighting mechanic, and we're fighting little airplanes. This is great. I love this.
Now,
And it's like I'm so sorry.
You're good.
I'm losing my mind over this screenshot here because I love how really cutesy everybody looks in this like background, but we're still using like we're not using like the pre-corrupted designs. They're still like looking pretty corrupted.
Now, the funny thing is, when the
Uh-huh.
fourth game came out, after it finished and people found lore and stuff like that,
Sure.
on the website there was this big "thanks for playing" type message that had all the characters,
Yeah.
and then slowly over time they all became chibi.
Oh,
Without
That's
anyone
what
noticing.
happens to everything.
And then eventually they all became chibi, and like, we're announcing FNAF World. It's coming out soon.
I love that.
Who's scary black monster? In between Blue
But
Bonnie.
between the bounties,
Yeah.
that is Phantom Balloon Boy from the third game.
Okay.
Okay.
At least that's what it looks like to me. But there is lore pieces in here that some people try and make theories out of, because obviously, even though it's cutesy, there are scary things that happen. Like that bottom left square, it's like one of the last things you're gonna see.
Uh-huh.
That bottom square down there, there are little like tasks you can do which kind of connect to the main series of games. And this is one of the ending results, where you end up in like this no man's land, where it's you who's that little red bear there on the right.
Okay.
And then there's it kind of looks like a crocodile man to me,
Yeah, I was
but
thinking it looks a little crocodile-y.
his name is Old Man Consequences.
That's a great name.
It is. It feels like a judge's name.
Especially
Old
for a
Man
crocodile.
Consequences.
He's from What's that New Mexico place called? It's from
Albuquerque?
no, Truth or Consequences, New Mexico.
That's
That's an
great.
actual
That is
place.
an actual town. It's where Mick Foley's Cactus Jack character is built from.
That's
From Truth or Consequences, New Mexico.
delightfully cheesy.
Well, he's supposed to be a cowboy, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna look up Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, while you talk.
that's fine. But he ends up being one of those things where we get to talk to him. He kind of like give up on your anger type deals, and like weird shit happens, creepy stuff. The only other thing that's of note in this game is that's the full map right there
Mm.
on the far right. People claim that it looks like a brain. So that little green bit down there is like the brain stem, and then those
Right.
are all the different little quadrants of the brain, including the frontal lobe, which is a sky area where it would be missing because it's in the sky.
That's funny. I also think this is one of those theories that is
People are stretching.
by coincidence. Like, this is kind of cool, but I'm pretty sure, like, the guy just
Wanted to have a fun map.
yeah,
essentially.
I don't think he modeled it after a brain at all. But I love that theory because it does look like a
Yeah.
brain.
So that actually led to the theory that FNAF World is canon, but it's in the crying child or the guy who gets bit. Whoever gets bit in the brain, it's in their mind.
Right.
So they're imagining everything cutesy.
Which okay. I don't know much about brains, but I feel like the frontal lobe is more responsible for like decision making rather than imagination.
I think it has to do with emotion because that's how Phineas Gage lost his emotion when the
right,
pipe went through his
emotion
head.
regulation. Yeah. I think it's yeah. You're right. You're right.
I'd like to mention that Truth or Consequences, New Mexico was renamed to that. It used to be Hot Springs, New Mexico, and now it's Truth or Consequences as the result of a radio show contest. In a similar manner to Bodie McBoatface. A bunch of dumbasses decided we're gonna call this Truth or Consequences.
Humans. We've invented vaccines, but also we named cities
Truth
after
and consequences.
yeah.
It's not even a name;
Like,
it's a statement.
and through like a contest too.
You gotta write that on every letter you send to somebody.
And then there's also lore pieces. Sorry, I'm going to skip over.
Yeah.
There's also lore pieces at the end where this game will get updated and there'll be teasers for the next game, which you're going to move on to right now.
Was this sorry?
No, you're good.
FNAF
Questions?
World, was this a browser game or was this released on Steam? Like,
So
where was
this
at?
this game was released in the worst state possible, and Scott took it down, and then he re-released it for free. So it's on Steam. You can play it on Steam, and there's like itch.io pages and stuff like that.
Okay, interesting.
So there's a lot of places you can get it.
I was reading the Wikipedia article, so I don't know if you mentioned the arrow in the corner.
That's nothing. That's just a screen grab I got.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah,
So,
that's not
okay.
important.
All right.
That was the best full picture I could get of the whole map.
Okay, all right.
So yeah, sorry, that's just the best screen grab I
Okay.
got.
I was interested in lore.
Honestly, it might be for all
More
I know, but to
lore.
my knowledge, that dot means nothing.
No, it's okay. It's fine.
Any questions on FNAF World that I might not be able to answer?
Steph, who in this cast of characters would you fuck?
Well, with me being relatively asexual, I would say,
Take Foxy. Everyone likes Foxy.
I guess,
What those teeth do?
He cannot. He's a fox, technically.
Hell yeah.
Wait, actually, I have to answer this question.
Yeah, sure. We're gonna sit here till you answer it.
I mean, I guess Foxy.
Yeah, Foxy's the right answer.
You know what? I'm gonna go with Foxy because
He's damaged.
No. He has an adventurous spirit. He's a pirate.
He's
He sailed the high seas. He's out for adventures. You know, the true treasure is friendship, or whatever how the quote goes.
He's probably backed up as shit from being stuck on a ship for so long.
And probably
It's scurvy.
but
Yeah.
you know what? That's okay. We all have room for improvement. So that's where we're at.
To be fair, there are versions of Foxy that aren't pirates. You can pick one of those Foxies.
So then it's just Foxy the
Well, they have other different things. Like
Oh.
so
Foxy the chef, Foxy the astronaut. Oh my gosh. Do they have like a whole line of like different like how Barbie, it's like Barbie the veteran. Sorry, I can't pronounce
Barbie the veteran.
Sorry, the veteran.
Veteran
she's
Barbie.
seen some shit. She was in Nom.
The horse doctor. What do you call those? The vet?
Veterinarians.
Thank you. I can't pronounce that word for some reason.
No, usually a lot of the characters that repeat
Just
usually have a
Barbie.
moniker in the front.
Veteran. She's good.
Saw a landmine take out Ken.
You ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Ken. But no,
Lost
there's
Skipper in the swamps. Sorry, go
no,
ahead.
you're good. Most of the characters have like monikers in the front of their names, like the scary ones from 4 are Nightmare, so it's Nightmare Foxy, Nightmare Bonnie, stuff like that. So there's things like Fun Times Foxy. But then some of them are Foxies that don't have the Foxy name. Like, remember that beginning slide that said "Please stand by" that I had sitting
Mm-hmm.
on there?
Mhm.
That character is called Lolbit
Okay.
because literally, when it pops up on screen, we'll get to that game later. The way to get them to go away is like LOL, and it goes away.
Interesting.
It's just a deterrent. We'll explain that later.
I think I already know the answer to this question, but
Mhm.
there's got to be trading cards of these characters, right? Of this, like, there's got to be like Magic the Gathering, like a trading card game or something, because there's so many characters here
I
and so many variants. Like, I can already see them as like chaser cards. Like, oh, you got the golden Freddy like foil chaser or whatever. Like,
honestly, I'm waiting for them to do a Magic the Gathering version of this
I'm
because
surprised they haven't.
to my knowledge, they have not.
Oh wow, they would make a well. I don't. I mean, I'm outside the circle, so I don't know. But I feel like FNAF is not as popular.
FNAF trading cards. Yeah.
You want to finish that sentence?
Oh, I'm gonna take that back. Never mind. Okay, okay. I guess
FNAF
it's
is huge.
is it still huge?
It's one of those things where you know how Star Wars is huge when it came to, like toy sales and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's still in that phase
You know what? I'm happy for them. That's nice.
where a lot of people are more popular. Well, not more popular, more interested in it
Yeah,
because of like you know people collect Pokemon cards, but they don't know shit about Pokemon. They're like, I like the
they want
pictures.
the art.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's kind of like that. It's like I like this character. I'm gonna, you know.
because I'm gonna be honest. If they did like trading cards, I might pick up a couple packs because I do like I there's again it's like there's something really charming about these characters that are like obviously they're horror icons, but they look really cute. Like
Yeah,
they're adorable, but also terrifying. It's a fun
that's why people.
and they're also how do I say this? It's an ugly style, but in a way that garbage like you know what I mean?
Garbage
Garbage
Pail
Pail
Kids.
Kids. Yeah, where it's just like this is disgusting, but I love it. Like it's fun.
We should watch the movie of that one day.
Okay.
That's apparently supposed to be a terrible movie. Let's move on to the
Yes,
next game in the
please.
franchise. This is the first one that doesn't, well, unless you count FNAF World, this is the first one that doesn't have a number attached to it. This is Five Nights at Freddy's sister location.
I love that picture.
Oh,
It's
which,
kind of dreamy. The big purple one.
It gives me Y2K vibes almost like
A
the
little bit, yeah.
yeah, like we're gonna go in a rave.
the funny thing is, this one, depending on who you talk to, takes place roughly first in the timeline. So before the 80s, somehow. This is
Okay.
arguably one of the first dips
Okay.
where we're starting to go into sci-fi and then there's kind
Yeah.
of slight horror attached
Because
to
if you
it.
told me this is kind of like, you know, a FNAF in space, right?
Yeah.
Or like some kind of spin-off title like that, I can definitely buy it. Or like even if it's like the year 2000, right?
Mm.
Turn of the century, right? We're trying to modernize our characters here. I can see that just looking at these designs alone. But for it to exist
Before
prior,
then,
because I mean,
the
just
technology it wasn't even
it
there
wasn't there,
yet.
but like the style
Doesn't
is
scream that
no,
nostalgic feeling.
yeah, and like as a disclaimer, like I've looked at like a lot of like 70 and 60s like technology and like design stuff
Hmm.
just because of like work I've done in the past,
Hmm.
and this doesn't scream to me. Sorry, I can't critique this because none of this is like how do I say this? None of the FNAF stuff is supposed to be like accurate to the time period. Like that's
Yeah,
not the point of these
it
games.
goes
So
all
I'm
over the
actually gonna
place.
stop because this is I realize I'm critiquing like you know what I'm saying I'm critiquing a cookie for having like
Too many chocolate chips.
yeah exactly. I was like this it's like it doesn't matter. Like it's fine. It's good.
So this game right here is actually the first one that's not a time-based or management time. You actually have to complete tasks each night and go for each thing. So it actually switches up. So instead of sitting in a little room, you actually have to do certain little tasks. We'll explain some of that as we go through. Because the
Oh
first
wow.
thing you find out is this facility, you know, most of them been in pizzerias or in bedrooms and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
This one's underground, like deep
Okay.
underground.
Okay.
So you have to take an elevator all the way down
Uh-huh.
and you end up in this room. You'll come to this room every night
Uh-huh.
and you'll go different directions. No, there are not doorways. For you to get to each other room, you have to crawl through a little vent to get to the next room
Okay.
because that made sense.
For like yeah, high tech like
$1 billion company, essentially.
this is giving and stick with me. I'm going to explain in a second. This gives me Aperture Science vibes.
I was
in
thinking
the
that, yeah,
sense
the
where
going down.
yeah, going down, but also the fact that like nothing made sense. Where it's like they had so much money, but they're using it to like buy moon rocks. You know
Yeah,
what I
it's like,
mean?
why?
Where it's like, why are we doing this? It's like for science, duh. And like,
We'll find something scientific to do with it.
yeah, we put our money in like weird animatronics, but we couldn't fix the elevator, so use the vents. Like
Mhm.
that's the vibe I'm getting off of this. Which does make sense because if it's the same company like that owns the shitty like pizzeria places,
Mhm.
it just shows that no, they've always been bad with money. And that's my personal theory just by looking at these screenshots.
Well, there are theories that this doesn't fully connect with the pizzeria and is a
Oh.
sister like business
Oh,
to
okay.
it because
Okay.
technically this is a rental service for kids' parties. So you would take people to Chuck E. Cheese. This would
Yeah.
be the equivalent of like when you get like we're gonna have SpongeBob at my party, and a guy comes in a suit.
Oh,
It's
okay.
that, but they're full blown animatronics.
Okay.
That first left character there named Baby
Mm-hmm.
is
We
cannot.
don't get to try to name him?
You want to try and name these?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay, well, you said baby
That's
already.
Baby.
All right, so the pink Freddy with the Bonnie hand puppet.
Mhm.
That's Freddy. And then pink Foxy is Poxy. And the ballerina is Jasmine.
Okay.
Jasmine the big titty ballerina.
Oh no.
And then
There's fan art of
Yeah,
that.
I'm sure there is.
all right, and then that one's called Whiteface because he's a black guy doing whiteface. All right, then we're starting over with the baby down in the corner. You know what? Why don't you do the second row?
Wait, so the top left character's name Baby?
No,
Yeah, that's Baby.
yeah,
So that's Baby at the bottom.
baby.
Baby.
Yeah,
And that's left Bonnie and right Bonnie.
yeah. There you go.
Um
Republican and Democrat alike.
okay.
We're gonna build a wall.
What-
We're gonna make Charles Entertainment Cheese pay for it.
and then
I just explained this one not too long ago. Their name.
oh, I'm sorry. I missed it.
It was Long Boy. It was the long one. Oh no, hold on.
Oh, no, we're talking about the Foxy. No, I'm talking about the ballerina, like in the
Oh,
center.
gotcha.
That's
Yeah.
who I'm thinking of. Because the other one you said is like low jaw or something, or
Low bit.
low bit. Sorry,
Low bit.
low bit. I'm trying to think. Like, is it two characters that ballerina type?
No, that's
Puppet?
just a weird front profile.
Oh, okay. So if because it reminds me a lot of like the puppet,
Hmm.
marionette. So maybe this is Marionetta.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So just so we know, that's Baby, Funtime Freddy, Funtime Foxy, Ballora.
Okay.
That one is called Ennard, but we'll get to that later.
Okay.
Biddy Bab,
Mm-hmm.
Bon
Oh,
Bon.
BB.
Oh,
BB.
prototype
BB.
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 Actually, that's actually a theory because since this takes place the earliest, well,
Mhm.
so far the earliest in the timeline, they're like, this kind of connects the Balloon Boy. That explains why this weird little human robot is hanging out in
Yeah, I'm
two.
sure he thought that far when he wrote this.
Yeah, exactly. Ballerina, if I'm remembering correctly,
Mm-hmm.
and then Lolbit,
Okay.
actually. But canonically, Baby is like 9 feet tall. That's a 9-foot robot, essentially.
What?
Don't say that. I'm gonna explain lore why you don't want to say that.
It's a child. I'm sorry. It's a tall, very adult child.
She's very mature for her
Yeah.
age.
I just want to preface going back at these environment screenshots. I do feel like we entered the, and this is why I'm confused as to why this was set as like a prequel, because looking at the game screenshots, the first like I guess quadrilogy reminds me a lot of like the 90s like PS1 or point and click adventure.
Yeah.
This reminds me of the 2000s. You know
I
what I'm
think it's
saying?
because it's so much metallic.
And that's the thing, because it's metallic-y, it's crisper, and it does have like a, oh wow, this feels like a generational leap.
Mhm.
Which again, I'm just so perplexed as to why it was chosen to be a prequel, because I could definitely see this to be like, oh well, the corporations in the future have figured out like a better way to monetize
To be
this.
fair, that's more of a theory that it takes place in the beginning because
Oh.
it kind of makes sense.
Oh, sorry, I thought.
The timeline,
I thought
other
it was
than
canon.
other than certain things like 2 that has like the check that has a hard date,
Mm-hmm.
and some later games that have hard dates, most of this is kind of like it could happen almost whenever. And then obviously FNAF 3 takes place 30 years after some undisclosed point in time.
Okay, so sister location, there's no confirmed date for
To
this.
my knowledge, no, but for it to make sense, it needs to happen somewhat ahead of schedule than it should.
Okay, we're gonna learn why, right?
Yes.
Okay,
So this is just the layout of the map where everything happens.
sure.
So that's the elevator you always go down. Those are the control rooms. There's Breakers, there's Balora's Gallery, there's Funtime Foxy's Auditorium, Parts and Services, and then the Circus Gallery, which also has its own room.
Okay.
So that's another issue with the layout of how this building works. You would think there would be hallways. There are not. You would crawl through the vents, and let's say you have to get to the breaker room, you have to go through where Ballora is and not get caught.
Oh,
So she'll be dancing ballerini in
yeah.
around the room in the dark, and you have to make sure you don't run into her.
Oh, I can see how this could be frustrating because there's really no flow in this map, I guess.
No, not really. Well, you're doing a different task each night. So once you go through Ballora's room,
Oh, I see.
you do the breaker room task, and then you have to go back, and you're done for the night.
Okay.
And then you come back the next day, go through Fun Time, Auditorium, same thing. Technically, I'm not doing these in the correct order, but I'm just trying to explain.
I see what you're saying, where it's
Yeah.
like you don't have to. It's not like the previous games where you kind of have to run around, not run around, but like kind of look around.
Yeah.
And how do I say
It
this?
switches it up every night, so it doesn't feel the same.
The motion isn't circular. It's more like you got to go to point A to point B, and that's it for the night.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Oh, okay. Never
That's
mind.
your task
Okay.
for the night. Canonically, I guess that takes 6 hours to do.
I do appreciate the change in gameplay with each edition.
hmm
You know,
It does get a little bit more involved each
okay,
time.
that's interesting.
So
Oh
there's
wait, I'm so sorry. Can you go back to the previous slide?
yes,
I love that it says copyright Afton Robotics.
Yeah, I
Yes.
was looking at
That
that.
is amazing. So
other than the pictures of the animatronics there, this is an official blueprint of the layout of the world.
oh, I see. This is the official.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
okay.
like in game, if you were to look at like the extras menu,
okay.
this would be the map that would
That's
show
great.
you.
And
Okay.
so this is pretty much. I mean, I know you said it was confirmed in the books, but this also kind of like reiterates that the purple guy, Springtrap, is the owner of
Yes.
the robotics.
Him and what will be explained later on, his partner
Mm-hmm.
is like the people who started it all.
Interesting. I also I do find interesting that it says Circus Babies Entertainment and Rental.
Yes.
Freddy Fazbear, which
That's because it's a sister location. So it's not fully connected to the. It's connected, but it's not connected. It's kind of like, you know how, let's say Walt Disney made Disney World.
yeah.
All right.
And then he's like, I want to make a cartoon. I want to make it under like my own umbrella. And he called it like, I don't know, Walt Animation. Technically, Walt Disney, they're all connected, but
Mhm.
they're owned by the
Yeah.
same guy, but they're not really connected. If that makes
So-
any sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. And of course we're gonna talk about timeline later, but
Yeah.
I'm just spitting this out now just so I can get it out of my system. But like I can see how the theory could be like, oh well, it happened before the Springtrap incident because it's obviously after robotics, but it going back to the Disney allegory, like
Mhm.
Disney still exists after Disney's dead.
Yes.
So like this could very much be like, wow, Fazbear lawsuits closed down, but under a different name. And it's still copyright after robotics because copyright law or whatever.
Mhm.
And so it's like we're gonna try again. So I really want to hold on to my future theory because to me that just makes more sense
Mhm.
with the information I have. But of course I can be proven wrong, and that's fine. But that's
Well,
kind of what I'm holding.
I'm
on
going to
to.
explain Afton Robotics just a little bit
Sure.
because technically he knows how to make robots. This isn't
Mhm.
one of those things where he just owns the company. He makes these robots.
Okay.
And that's why this slide here is kind of like explaining what this Freddy can do.
Uh-huh.
Because these robots were designed to kidnap children.
Okay, that makes sense.
So if you read stuff
Yeah,
down there.
voice mimic / luring.
Exactly.
That's very explicit. Like,
So it's essentially a way for him to like while he's at the party mimic
Mhm.
voices, and then he would stuff the children inside his like midsection
Okay.
and hold on to them and stuff like that. Which someone took a highlighter to this once, and it kind of looks like a kid, but I can't see it in these really. But supposedly that's something you can kind
oh
of see.
yeah, I can see the arms and legs. It's like the kid's
Yeah.
in the fetal position.
Exactly,
Yeah, I
like
kinda
it's
see
stuffed
it.
in there. But yeah, so that's pretty much one of those things where in the beginning of this game, there's the way FNAF Industries works is there's now like a board of like higher up.
Yeah.
So even though he's the boss, he still
Right.
has to like do things like
Sure.
according to them somewhat because he's lost kind of control. I guess it's kind of like how
Well, it's like when a corporation gets big, right?
exactly.
Like
It's
again,
kind of like when they go on the stock market. It's like now you gotta
when they go public, yeah,
yeah.
100%. And again, this is going back to Disney, right? Where it's like you can have a business name after you, but if you grow so big,
It's no
and
longer about
it's
you.
no longer. Yep, exactly. That's why I'm saying, like, you know, you could be alive, you could be dead at this point. I don't know. Who
So
knows?
yeah, in the beginning of the game,
Mhm.
when all that's happening, they're trying to figure out why he built the robots the way he did, and he's like skirting around the answers. Where he's like, "But it like not him, but baby can make ice cream. She
Mhm.
can make ice cream of any flavor they want." It's like, but why does the robot need to do that? It's like,
Mhm.
oh, it can do it though. Isn't that neat?
The children love it.
Yeah,
It's
they love
great.
ice cream. Don't
Yeah.
you? Don't kids want ice cream?
He makes like robots specifically to kidnap children, but then he built other random robots just as a distraction.
More
Kind
or
of
less,
like,
kind of.
no officers. These robots are entertained. You want ice cream? Great ice cream.
I know you guys really like donuts, but we got ice cream.
We got donut flavored ice cream. How about that?
We're gonna move on to the next slide.
Mm-hmm.
This map, so later on in the game, at the end, after because this whole game, Baby is talking to you, and
Mm-hmm.
she's pretty much, I don't want to use the word gaslighting, but pretty much lying to you in a way to try and get out.
Oh, I see.
When you
Okay.
don't listen to her, I'm gonna go back to this slide.
Uh-huh.
You either, if you listen to her at the end of the game, you end up going in the Funtime Foxy's auditorium,
Uh-huh.
and you go into the scooping room
Oh.
where a machine rips out all your guts,
Ooh.
and they put all these robots that are combined,
Yeah.
they stuff them into your body, and they create Ennard, which is Whiteface, as you call him.
Wait, they put the robots inside the empty husk of a human body.
Exactly. So, well, it's not empty. He's still alive. We'll talk about that. But they take all these little animatronics, specifically those top four there.
Yeah.
They scoop them out. They take all their guts out.
All
They,
the guts of the robots.
yes,
Okay.
and they combined into that thing. And then
Okay, why?
and then they scoop your guts out, and they
Okay.
pretty much wear you like a skin suit.
Oh, it's like we're trading places.
Well, they're just trying to escape. They're like, we need to be able to
Oh,
leave,
we need a
and this is the
skin
best way to
suit.
do it.
That's so interesting.
Like-
That's what their thought process was.
Like an Edgar suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure. And water.
Your skin's a little low there. Is this better? And he stretches it all the way to fuck back. So now, if you don't listen to Baby and you go to the left, you go to the private room, which is kind of like a secret mini game ending.
You get a private dance.
No, no, no. And you get to see this.
Sam, the character's name is Baby. What do you think? What do you think? Why that's a bad idea?
What do you think the other reason I was in prison for?
No.
Okay, I'm not gonna start a lore where I'm talking.
Yeah, don't do
Oh.
that. Please don't. So to make this a lot simpler, this is the map of the location where we're underground.
Uh-huh.
The smaller offshoots are FNAF 4. So down here at the left, that's Flum with Plush Trap. That's that little hallway.
Okay.
That's the bedroom up at the top where you can run back and forth.
Oh, are you insinuating this is underneath the guy's house?
No, I'm explaining to you that this is underground, underneath this guy's house, and underneath essentially the town, because that's his house right there, that top left corner.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those weird things where, in the remake of Friday the 13th, they explain how Jason gets around so fast because he has tunnels underground. This is that essentially.
Okay.
And that's why the theory is that the bedrooms in FNAF 4 aren't real. They're like a test experiment because they're not in the house. They're offshoot, like over here somewhere. So they think he's holding someone captive, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, you're
And
kidnapping children to run experiments on it, so you would put, yeah, okay.
kinda.
Okay, that's interesting.
I don't have the slide for this, but I'll explain this one real fast. They eventually made an update where they did add a sit and survival mode. And this is pretty much that. This explains what all the characters are doing. They have 420 mode. It's not as interesting. I just thought it was neat to show the map of how all the animatronics move around in this map. I'll explain Baby real fast. So William Afton has 3 children. One gets chomped by Fredbear.
Right.
One's a bully. He's the one who gets his guts scooped out in this game.
Oh.
Oh.
So he's technically down here looking for his father, essentially, like, I'm gonna fucking get you, you piece of shit type of attitude.
Right.
And Baby is his third kid, which is his daughter, who mistakenly gets killed by the robots.
Oh shit.
So pretty much William's like, don't ever go near these robots. Please don't go near these robots. Don't think about it. And she wanders off, and Baby, doing her programming, goes, hey, you want ice cream? Kids like ice cream. And she goes, and it just fucking snatches her.
Oh wow.
And I always thought that was funny because it's kind of like one of those Cupupits type deals. But
Okay.
do we have any questions so far?
No, it's pretty straightforward. Again, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm still like,
It's so complex, honestly. I can't think of questions.
it's pretty. I don't know. I don't think it's complex. It's just more of like where this fits in the timeline. I'm not convinced this is a prequel. But
here's the thing: it kind of has to be a prequel.
Oh, because of Spring.
No, not even that. Because Baby exists and has to kill the daughter before anything else, really, in this timeline.
How so? What in the previous games?
So
how do I say this? How
connect to it?
Yeah, connect to the daughter's death, because this is the first I've heard that he's got a daughter.
Exactly. So people think his daughter being killed by the animatronics is the trigger that snaps, that starts this whole thing, where he goes, my daughter's dead, depression, I'm going to start killing other people type deal. If that makes any sense?
If my kid can't live, none other kid can live.
I guess so, but like, I guess my question.
And then they kind of walk that back. We'll talk about that in the next game.
Because why was he programming these things to kidnap kids in the first place?
That's what I want to know.
Because
we'll get to that in the next game.
Okay, because like to me, it's like, it sounds like he was unhinged already.
Yeah.
And kidnapping and killing kids was just like his pastime or whatever, and then
America's pastime, children's theft.
His actual kids got involved somehow. Like, that's kind of where
well, one got snatched by mistake. The other one got essentially killed because the other one was an asshole.
Sure.
And then this one's just like, he actually grew up, and now he is essentially trying to stop his father in a way.
Okay.
But then there's also theories where they believe that he's not, and he's kind of helping.
Okay.
It's weird. We get to the point where Scott's not giving answers, so people have to guess a lot. Yeah. And when people have to guess and people don't agree, they start to go in their own little camps and be like, no, this has to be the reason why.
Yeah.
You know, essentially. That's about it for Sister Location, I think, in the grand scheme of things of what we're going to discuss here.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Simulator.
What are these children?
They are children.
Okay.
I have never heard of this game. You know, it's funny, because I've heard of Sister Location. I've heard of the other games. I have what is this?
So, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator was a hidden sequel that was given out for free. So, essentially, he made Sister Location. He's like, I'm going to do another spin-off where you simulate running your own Chuck E. Cheese, essentially. You're going to build the games, you're going to put them out, charge certain prices and all that. But behind that, there's lore going on. So it was released for free, and people are like, okay.
These children deserve to be killed. I can tell just by looking at them. Like, look at Baron Trump there in the front.
What is on that pizza? Or are those pills?
Are those
jelly
pills?
beans? What's going on?
So I think they're supposed to be toppings of like dubious looks. So it's like, could be peppers, could be pineapples, could be, anchovies, whatever.
Could be health inspector banning foods.
So fun fact, in this game, you can get sued for like shit like that, where it's like, I choked on this happened here, and you have to figure out what to do with it.
That's great.
Where either you have to go to court and fight it, or you'd be like, I'm just going to pay you off if you leave, please.
Huh. All right,
what is this kid in the front?
I want to see gameplay.
Orange polo shirt needs to die.
Steph, gameplay in this game's kind of boring. I'm gonna let you know.
Oh, really? Oh.
Because it's the least interactive when it comes to like seeing animatronics move around.
Oh, really?
And also, don't get used to those 4 characters right there. They only pop up for like for the simulation part and not really the lore part, if that makes any sense.
It doesn't, but I would like to see more.
Fuck that.
Well, there you can see kind of what the location. Someone took 4 screenshots
my
of them
eyes.
together. Yeah, it hurts.
Oh,
right?
Jesus!
Wow.
So you get to buy animatronics and like toys and stuff like that, and put them.
I can't look at the screen. I actually can't look at the screen.
It's a little rough because someone just took 4, I think that's like 6 screenshots, and they tried to blend them together.
This is by definition programming art. You know what I mean? Like, it's. There's something wrong,
Oh,
which is so.
you see it when I
Wait,
close my eyes.
question.
Okay.
Question.
Yes.
Who did the art for all of these games? Has it always been Scott or like?
I believe so. He really likes making animatronics. He's a big robot guy. So
Sure, totally get it.
yeah,
But also the environments, art direction, all that.
I think so.
Because I was gonna say the first, like
If not, he's most definitely directing it.
I was gonna say the first three games look really good. Actually, I
Mhm.
can argue the fourth game, or sorry, not the fourth, but the sister location also has like a really unique look. I quite like it. What happened here?
So just so
What happened?
Steph, just so you know, it's not supposed to look like this. This is a blown up picture
Oh,
of
so
like
it's more
multiple
zoomed
pictures.
in.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like you would only see like
Uh,
2 of the tables at a time
it just
as you move around.
yeah
It's like one of those magic eye pictures.
I hate
yes.
those things. I can't see
I,
them.
I think those things are cool.
I've never been able to see what's going on in
What
Why
there.
is Freddy on a stripper stage?
And also,
He's on his own private stage, kind of like how Chucky's usually on
why
his own
is
private
like
stage.
a gravity ride indoors?
So near the picnic tables. They're getting good. This is not OSHA approved.
Okay, now that's actually a thing in this game. When you buy certain rides, they have a danger level that will result in you getting sued more often.
That's great.
And called a liability scale. So it'll have like a scale of like 1 to 10, on liability, 10 being the worst, essentially.
Amazing.
Please get off this picture.
I'll move to the next one.
Oh, thank you.
Let's move to the actual gameplay. So that's the beginning part where you get to build your own pizzeria. But
Oh,
the
okay.
actual like horror bit of it
Mhm.
is it's no longer time based still. It's now task based.
This looks good. Like I'm looking at the screen now. I'm like,
Yeah.
this looks way better. Like,
Well,
what?
you gotta remember this was supposed to be a hidden game. So
Oh,
it
got
looks
it.
cheesy in the beginning and then
Oh.
it becomes scary.
I see. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
So in this, you're sitting in a cramped little room with 2 big vents next to you.
Uh-huh.
And you have to rebuy and fix things throughout the day.
Okay.
So it's the end of the day. So you're like, I need to buy more paper cups. And you have to sit there and wait for it to load, essentially, you ordering paper
Well,
cups.
it's simulating how negligent the money management is. It's like, no, you see in real time how hard it is to run a business. So don't give the CEO shit for spending money on like these weird automatic doors that open up because
like
it's
just
hard running a business. You know what I mean?
I like it just got caught up on the doors. We haven't had doors for like 8 games
Fuck
now.
these doors!
Stupid ass doors.
God, what a stupid concept.
Well, be happy. There's no doors in this game. You have 2 comically large vents next to your head.
Uh-huh.
And this is all you get to see. There are no cameras in this
And that crumpled up tissue you just jacked off into.
Jesus.
where eventually there will be 4 animatronics running around, and you have to use sound cues to make them go away from you, essentially. Same way it kind of worked in FNAF 3.
Sure.
Okay.
And pretty much you just have to get your tasks done as soon as possible. There are things where making too much noise will attract them. So, like, let's say you have, like, you make faxes. You do faxes for the day. You'll hit the button, it'll make noises as
Yeah.
it goes through, and that's a repeat gameplay. We've gone back to simpler gameplay.
Are these things that you have to figure out on your own, or is there a heads up that, like, say, in order to make this happen, push this?
Yeah,
button?
essentially, yeah. There's a
Okay.
thing where it's like the end of your day for the night. You need to do these tasks before you go home.
But I mean, like,
Like-
to drive away the monsters, poke it in the eye. Press X to poke.
Kinda, it's one of those things. That's more of a learning process, I would argue.
Like a
Okay.
point and click adventure game where it's like,
Yeah.
we won't tell you to combine the screwdriver and the paper towel.
Whoa.
These look amazing.
These
great.
are the 4 monsters that you can choose. You do not have to bring these into your
To
pizzeria.
date?
If you really want to try, canonically, only one of them is an adult.
Guess which one? I'm gonna go for the wire ball in the bottom left corner.
You are wrong.
Damn it! I'd still date. I'm kidding. What's up?
Or you can leave them out and pretty much not finish the game at all. Essentially, if you don't want to do any of the scary bits,
Mm-hmm.
you could choose not to do any of the scary bits. So, and it will give you a bad ending. This game has multiple endings.
Uh-huh.
Like, I think it has like 7 endings, essentially. Yeah.
So sorry. Can you go back a slide?
Yeah.
I just want to make an observation.
Go for it.
So I see what you're saying with the sister location being your prequel because that Fazbear toy
Mhm.
has the same color scheme as I forgot what.
Oh, it's about Helpy? That's Helper? The Helper one? The one standing on top of the
the
monitor?
the pink and isn't that the same color scheme?
There's a
Yeah.
pink foxy.
Yeah, like so. I guess that kind of reiterates like these designs existed prior to the original opening, so I can see how
Yeah.
that could be confusing. You know what? Time. It's a made-up concept. Doesn't exist. Who cares?
We're in a time warp. There's a black hole that made everything in the future go to the past. But yeah, I always think that's really neat.
Yeah, this is cool. I like.
So before you actually get them, you have to do a questionnaire, and they will slowly move and try and get you. And you can shock them, which will cost money to repair them essentially, where you'll start losing profits if you shock them too many times. But you have to go through this checklist and make sure they don't come get you while you're doing it.
So here in the company culture, we like to treat each other like family.
We're gonna send you in with the scary monster in the dark room with one fucking light.
Hold on, you're doing a what here?
You're essentially, because you're pulling these animatronics out of the alleyway.
Right?
I will explain how they make it to the alleyway later, but you have to make sure essentially they're, I guess, up to snuff, and they play little sound bites, and you have to see if they react to the sound bites and check them off, yes or no. It's essentially an excuse to make you look away from the animatronics so they can move.
And honestly, who the hell is doing this? Like, there's something coming at you in the dark. I'm not gonna do this.
Look, I left my glasses at home. I can't really see that far. I need the paper in front of my face.
Peripheral vision.
I kind of hate that, especially like in like Fallout and like certain horror games where you have to look at the monitor for like a computer screen and you put your face straight up next to it so you can't see anything around you. Like no one does that.
That's one of the things I like about Mortuary Assistant is you can look at the computer screen in there, but you still see shit that's happening in the background.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool, but none of this like put the clipboard directly in front of your face. Fuck this kid.
Saving money is for nerds.
Yep, I'm telling you, they spent too much money on the wrong things.
So during
Ooh, that looks like the game we played at MetroCon. The light bars a little bit, kind of.
Oh yeah.
Well, it looks like a Frogger game to me. Midnight Motorist.
It's a racing game.
Oh, okay.
So during the
right.
during the daytime, those arcade machines you get credits and you can play them. And some of them are just there to make profit. You make money for playing them. And some of them have lore. These are our mini games for this game. Where Midnight Motorist, there will be sections where you will see, you have to dodge the cars, obviously, you're driving at high speeds. But then there'll be like a little offshoot you can go down, and it'll start a mini game where you get to play a little car driving home and dealing with like situations, stuff like that.
Situations? What kind of situations?
Situations. Big situations. Lore concerning situations.
Okay, well, let's learn more.
January 6th.
Also, wait.
No.
Jesus.
That's a situation.
That is a situation, but this isn't that situation.
Again, observation for me, just armchair theorist.
Mhm.
The picture here of the terrifying child. He's wearing like a tie and he's looking very nice. Where in the timeline are we with this particular one? I know it's very vague, and I know this is like a free side project that he just gave out. But methinks, based on this maybe took place in like the 70s or something.
So let it be known, these aren't supposed to be like time, like to explain what time these are. These are propaganda by Fazbears. These are like corporate pictures where it's like, look how happy the children are.
And look how
popular
well-adjusted white child in the suburbia wearing shorts, a dress shirt, and a tie.
Exactly.
Parted hair. And
9-year-old Conan O'Brien.
So yeah, so it'll result in like mini games where that's Midnight Motorist. Eventually you will come down, and this is a full map of everything that happens, and you'll drive home. There's a place called Juniors that kind of gets explained and kind of doesn't get explained.
Okay.
So that's kind of open lore. And then you go home, and then you pretty much, even though he is not purple, he is yellow in this one. He is apparently William Afton. Why Scott made him yellow in this game, I don't know.
Well, probably because of the association Springtrap, right?
That's what I think, but and lore pieces for this maze game, Fruit Maze right here. When you start getting high scores, the screen will flash and you will see a reflection of the character playing, which is this poor little girl here. And then there's William Afton in a spring suit standing behind her.
Okay.
And if I remember, the theory is that is the little girl who possesses Chica.
Okay.
So he essentially goes, she's missing her dog. We'll explain this real quick. He goes, your dog's still missing? I know where he is. He's back here. And takes her back and does the deed.
By the way, I heard you have an eating disorder. How would you like to be that to be permanent.
That's so dark. Oh my god.
7-year-old with an eating disorder.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's
It
definitely it
happens, I
happens.
guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are our mini games. There's a few other mini games that I don't have on here. There's some where there's little robots. There's one that's called Candy Cadet.
Mm-hmm.
And after you put all your credits in there, he'll tell you a very like scary story, essentially, that is kind of like an allegory for what's going on with like the children, where it's like, oh, there's 5 cats, all of them died. They tried to sew them together and stuff like that.
Oh, jeez.
It's very weird.
He's trying
And
to tell a creepypasta.
yeah, essentially, it's just trying to be really creepy. And then he goes, "Hey, I got candy," at the end, essentially. Was there any questions about that, like at all?
I'm good.
So, sorry, what to recap, what was kind of like the lore that was revealed with this particular game?
So the lore of this game is William Afton has a partner,
Mm-hmm.
and he is essentially running a way to gather everyone up and finish the job. So that's why they keep
The
popping up.
job being
Murder children?
No. He's trying to end everything. He wants to get the kids free. He wants to kill William. He wants to kill himself. And he just wants to be done with everything. He's like, this
So
has been going on for
The
too long.
partner wants to end everything.
Yes.
Oh, has it ever been revealed who the partner name? Have we ever seen this partner?
Not here,
Okay.
but in the books he's revealed, and he is Henry.
Okay, so sorry, because I'm trying to think like where in this game would I know there's a partner?
You really don't.
Okay, so it's a book thing that
It's
kind
more of a book thing that eventually we hear his voice and hear like, oh,
Ah,
okay, so he
okay.
does exist.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem with the books is it's one of those things where even though they're canonically their own universe, you have to read the books, or at least have someone who's willing to read the books
Mhm.
and try and make it make sense in this universe, because not everything is told properly.
like the Harry Potter movies.
Is that I've never seen the
I
Harry
haven't seen
Potter
it either.
movies.
It's like I was forced to marathon the movies with a former roommate, and I had never read the books. And he's like, "Well," and I kept asking questions. Why is it like this? Like, well, in the books, like I don't want it. I shouldn't have to read the book to understand the movie.
Mhm.
So and now there's a bunch of people going off the comments about Harry Potter. Shut up! I hate Harry Potter.
I am going to play. Sorry, I forgot. I want to play this video.
Okay.
At the end of the game, once you gather everyone up, this happens.
Wait, I think I understood. Okay, you mentioned daughter, so that was Afton talking.
No, that was the
The
partner.
part I had a feeling it was a partner, but
Yeah, because he was the one who wanted to end everything, so he burned like everything down,
Yes.
So-
including Springtrap, right? Because he
Yes.
mentioned like the darkest pit of hell, like that was specifically aimed
For him.
for him.
So Henry has essentially gathered everyone up here slowly by tricking them.
Mm-hmm.
William essentially thought he was so smart he could go in and figure out what was going on and get stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Baby thinks her father, who is William, is calling him. It's like, oh, he wants me to show up. So she shows up. The puppet, which if you look at this top right
Yeah.
picture here,
Mm-hmm.
if you look in the background, the back right corner, you can see the puppet like laughing back there.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
That's a subtle hint. He created an animatronic to essentially go capture the puppet and hold it captive and bring it here. I forgot how Molten Freddy shows up. I think he's just like okay, I remember. Molten Freddy is entered after they kick Baby out. So you know how they were all in the meat suit together?
yeah.
She apparently essentially was like, I'm the boss. Everyone listen to me. And they're like, you're really fucking annoying. And they kicked her out.
Interesting.
That's why she's all broken. She has to go back and get her old pieces.
Hmm.
And then Molten Freddy is obviously all the other animatronics mushed together. They're no longer in the bodysuit. They eventually get, I don't want to say thrown up, but they essentially excommunicated out of the body. And so they're just guts hanging out now. They're essentially just odds and ends of wires and tangled pieces.
Okay.
And since they kicked Baby out, Funtime Freddy, the Freddy with the Bonnie on his hand,
Yeah.
took over. He goes, well, I'm going to go back and get my Freddy face, and we're going to put this on, essentially.
That's interesting.
So yeah, he pretty much gathers everyone up and then burns the whole building down to the damn ground.
Okay.
And the person you're playing in this game who's doing all the work and all that is William's son. He's the one who got scooped out.
So
He
if he got,
survived.
oh, he survived. Okay, because
Yes.
that was
Essentially, they scooped his guts out
uh-huh.
and then forcefully made him stay alive and wore him like a suit.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is where in the lore where I feel like
hmm
things are not clear. Like you're telling us everything that's
It
happening,
was
but
getting a little ridiculous.
Yeah, there's going to be a point where they stop.
the ridiculousness happens because I feel like, not that I need things explained to me, but I feel like that everything that you described, Derek, I did not necessarily get from what was described previously.
Exactly.
Up to this point, I understood everything happening based on the bullet points.
Hmm.
But this is where it gets where like this feels very much like, oh, you have to read the novels.
Exactly. This got to the point where
Mhm.
people were like, they were trying to figure out if the novel, because at this year, which is
Mhm.
2015? No, this is 2017. The books, there are so many books. People are like, they have to be, canon. They
Yeah.
have to be canon. And then there was a camp of like, no, they're not canon. Yes, they
Mhm.
are. But they're still like, they both agree that it does explain stuff.
Mhm.
Because even then, like, as soon as they go, my partner, he
Yeah.
says he had a partner. People are like, oh, okay, so the partner is canon to this universe. Because for a long time, they thought it was just William.
Right.
But in the books, we know it's two of them, even though the partner isn't an evil guy. So they it became one of those things where it's kind of like, okay, we're not explaining a lot.
Yeah, it's not, and it's a delicate line to go between inferring and over explaining, and I think unfortunately there's just too many things that are a little too obtuse
Hmm.
that how would I, it's one of those things where like, how would I know to seek out this information,
Exactly.
because this is interesting, like, but it's just one of those unfortunate things where it's like, if I were to naturally just play the games and not consume any
You would
other
not
media,
know what's going on.
that's
You
the
would eventually get
unfortunate.
lost on
Yeah,
stuff. Yes,
exactly.
that is what happened to a lot of people.
Oh, bummer.
That's why like game theory became so popular, because people, they were willing to read the books because they got a staff that can
Oh
sit there
yeah,
and read everything.
sure.
This is what happened with me in Final Fantasy 13. No, you guys don't care, but like I played the game, got all the way through it, and I'm just like, what the hell happened in this game? And I had to go on Wikipedia and read the plot, and I'm like, oh, that's what that was not clear at all. Okay, I get it. And I still don't remember what the plot of 13
That's
is.
great.
Essentially, yes. But yeah, this is technically where FNAF ended for a bit.
Really?
Yeah. The next few games are going to be much quicker
Okay.
because now we are going into Ultimate Custom Night.
Hooray!
So Ultimate Custom Night is also free.
Okay.
It was one of those free games that put out not too long after Pizzeria Simulator.
Uh-huh.
It is literally a sit and survival game with 50 animatronics to keep
That's
track
too
of.
many. This is dumb.
You don't have to turn all of them on, but there have been people who have beat this with 50/20 mode.
I actually like this a lot because this reminds me of just like, how do I say this? I don't want to say Mario Maker, but how do I say this? Where it's like, I want to customize. Well, it's the
Your
name. Ultimate.
experience,
Yeah,
yeah.
I want to customize my experience like an arcadey version. Like there's story mode, but I want a
Mhm.
custom version where I can set like the difficulty. Kind of. This is a weird comparison, but stick with me. Kind of like Smash Brothers, where it's like you can play the campaign, or you can set
That's
up
why I
your.
wrote "Everyone is here" for the
Yeah, because it's like it
tagline.
really does remind me a lot of like you can set up like what items you want, what characters you want, and this is very much like for the people who are huge FNAF fans. People who are
Yes.
like, I love this game, I love the characters, I just want a game that has everybody in it.
This was essentially dessert.
Yeah.
This was like, okay, we finished the story, let's have some fun.
Yeah.
This guy's face looks like a toilet. Keep talking.
Sorry, which guy?
The
white
big
guy.
mouth.
The big white thing. It looks like a toilet.
So technically, that's Nightmarian,
Uh-huh.
which shows up in one of the Halloween specials
Mm-hmm.
and is technically canon, kind of. It's very weird because it's technically the puppet, but it's a nightmare version of the puppet, but it's also its own thing, if that makes any sense. But yeah, it's just one of those funky little things. You get to choose your own background. There's stuff from FNAF 3, their
That's
sister location, 4,
This is
and the
very
original.
Smash Brothers.
I love
It is.
this.
It's essentially Smash Bros. But for FNAF.
Okay.
That's cool.
But there are little lore hit snippets and stuff like that.
Sure.
And then there's also cutscenes. Oh,
Wow.
I forgot about this slide. This is someone on Reddit who explained how this shit works.
That's awesome, actually.
It goes around this whole map. You're down there,
Uh-huh.
and it tries to explain all this shit.
That's cool. This shows like how much work got put into this game too. Like
It's a lot of
Oh, my
effort.
brain is melting.
this is incredible. I love this. I unironically love this. This is cool.
And then these are just some of my favorite locations.
Yeah, this is great.
That's the prize corner.
Reminds me of Silent Hill a little bit. Just the
Yeah,
coloration. of it.
yeah.
I can see that. The bottom one is the prize corner, where
Mhm.
certain animatronics you have to while you're playing the game, there'll be little coins you could click on throughout the
Mhm.
cameras, and you can buy to get them to go away. And I've always thought that was really
Oh,
neat.
that's cool.
And then some of the animatronics, because they're also similar in some of the older games,
Uh-huh.
got new gimmicks. Funtime Freddy, sorry, not Funtime, Toy Freddy has a gimmick where he plays a smaller version of FNAF in FNAF, and you have to help him not die. And if
Oh.
he dies, he leaves the room and comes and fucks you up, essentially.
Oh, it's funny.
That's great.
So he has to hide from trash in the gang, which are like these, they're these animatronics with quotes on them that are literally just like a vacuum cleaner with googly eyes on it,
Oh my
and a
god.
bucket on a stick with a happy face drawn on it,
That's amazing.
and a crate with like foam fingers.
That's amazing.
It's the stupidest shit in the world. But yeah, it was pretty much just a big hurrah,
Mm-hmm.
which during the game,
Wait.
depending on, give me a second, give me a second to
Okay.
explain this slide.
Okay.
As you play and get more points, like as you do more animatronics,
Uh-huh.
you would get little cutscenes that are little funny cutscenes.
Uh-huh.
Sam, can you read that? Or no?
I can read one character on it. I can put. Do you know what it says?
Kind of.
I can put it into Google Translate.
No, I don't want to do that.
Oh,
I could
okay.
just explain what it is.
Okay.
So one of the cutscenes you can get is essentially Samurai Freddy, who has to fight like a giant tyranny Foxy, who's like, and it just ends with like small things where it's like, oh, he failed his mission, and Foxy made him mop the pizzeria for like the day, and it's
That's
like pretty much just like non-serious shit, but it's
yeah.
fully dubbed in Japanese
That's incredible.
with subtitles and all and shit like
Oh,
that.
that's fun. I love it because it's like it's not taking itself seriously.
No,
It's like we're
this
here to have
game is
fun.
completely bullshit, except
And
for like small little things.
sure.
And then at the top there is Toy Chica high school years.
Okay.
So Toy Chica was where like a lot of like the smut came from for a bit.
Oh, awful.
So this is
No.
Scott leaning into it, where he's like a kind of an anime thing.
Yeah,
Like
he's like I know what you perverts want.
exactly panty shots and all.
Yeah.
That bottom right one. Are you still looking up the
I'm
characters?
drawing it. The Vengeful Bear.
Yep.
Oh, that's
Okay.
awesome.
But yeah, it's just one of those things. The funny thing about the Chica one is literally the way it starts is her sitting in school while she's at the lockers. Then it shows her like anime style protagonist next to the window at her desk,
Uh-huh.
and it'll pan slowly forward to a person sitting in front of her. It'll be a different animatronic character,
Uh-huh.
and it'll explain how she's going to essentially gaslight them into coming to her house so she could have them all for themselves. And then the next day they do the same thing, and you'll notice she's keeping pieces of them. So it's one of those
Oh.
things like, is she killing these guys? And
Yeah.
then slowly
Explain one
keeping
more
trophies?
time why all of this is happening. Why?
It's just funny.
Okay.
Just basically it's basically Scott going to the fandom and going, I see you. Like, and I think that's kind of fun when they kind of it's little gags. I don't know, Easter eggs. Like
Yeah.
it's great.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, there are some creepy
It's kind of
bits.
like this is a weird comparison.
Yeah, okay.
But stick with me. It's kind of like I don't know if you've seen the episode of Metalocalypse where like Death Clock goes to like DeathCon or whatever. It's a convention for Death Clock.
hmm
And Brendan Smaller, the creative team, they asked the fandom, or they found. I forgot like what is whether they asked the fandom or they found fandom. They
Uh-huh.
basically were like, "Give us smut of these characters," because they really wanted to show like, "Oh, this is a convention," so they wanted to show like
All
booths
the
of
weird
like
shit.
all the weird shit and booths. So like they got basically fan sourced like smut. And they're like, we know what you sickos do, and basically had like a scene where there was somebody who was have a booth that sold like basically smutty fan art,
Mhm.
and it was just one of those nods where it's like Brennan's like, we're in season like I don't know 3 or 4. It's like I know what you guys do, like I get it. It's like it's just
We know who you
fun,
think
yeah,
tops and who bottoms in this
yeah.
situation.
It's just like a fun nod.
But honestly, yeah, it's kind of like that.
That's so funny.
Now, there is some slight lore to things that go around
Okay.
because canonically, I keep saying canonically a lot. So a good fan theory is this is Williams Afton's hell.
Mm.
Certain characters, as they will attack you, like if you lose,
Mm-hmm.
if they speak, they will either speak completely out of tone, like so they'll be wacky. Like there's some characters that are very wacky in this game.
Mm-hmm.
They'll go deadpan and they'll talk very seriously about like this is like why you're here. You
Oh.
shouldn't have fucked with us, type situations.
Mhm.
Or there'll be characters, even when they're talking wacky, there'll be a creepy voice behind them repeating the same thing over and over again.
Okay.
And it's actually one of those things where this is where the big thing of the one you shouldn't have killed came from,
Mm.
which is pretty much the only spirit that's like, I'm not gonna leave, which a lot of people think is Golden Freddy because other than, not actually, I think he's the only one that does not show up in the fire in the last game. So he's still around somewhat.
Okay. Okay. Question.
Yeah.
The bottommost right, it's a phone.
Yes.
Who's that?
That is Ralph, the phone guy. His thing is he just annoys you. He'll pop up and he'll just keep talking.
That's
He won't shut the fuck up. But he also works as a noisemaker. So you see bottom thing, that big face that's smiling on the left
Yeah.
next to Foxy.
Uh-huh.
That's Music Man. He has a noise mechanic where if there's too much noise, he'll be like, okay, this is pissing me off, and he'll come and get you.
That's great.
So you have to hurry up and hang up on Ralph because he's making too much noise.
Does anything ever happen to Ralph?
He dies.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, in the first game, while you're listening to the phone calls on the last one, you hear essentially Freddy's music play, and then you hear him go, no, and then big, loud, scary noises, and then the phone hangs up.
Oh shit.
So he canonically doesn't survive any of this shit.
All right.
That's also another reason why people think FNAF 2 has to be a prequel, because if he dies in the first one, how the hell is he in the second one?
Okay.
But yeah, the one you shouldn't have killed leads to, this is the last thing you unlock when you finish the game. Like if you finish all of it, the highest score,
Mhm.
you see Golden Freddy, who has never moved in this whole game. Like he can still jump scare you, but he's never seen moving,
Mhm.
just jittering in the dark.
Hmm.
And then it slowly fades
Cool.
out. Neat, right? But yeah, it's just a little side thing, but it does have a little bit of lore. There is in the books, what happens to William in the books is essentially he's not killed. He's put like in a coma. So people think this is a coma state, but I'm like, I really feel like no, he probably dies in that fire. You know?
Right. Yeah, like this is to like end everybody's misery.
Yeah, exactly. This is his punishment for,
Mm-hmm.
being such an asshole. For
Yeah.
killing like essentially somewhere between 5 to like 25 kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
This was the very last like Scott run game. We're now going to be going into a thing where he brings up an actual development team to work on these things.
Oh. Okay.
And they go by Steel Wool, and then there's another one that makes a phone game that I'm forgetting right now. We'll run into that
Okay.
then. So, anyways,
I started blasting.
they started blasting. No, we move into our first VR game.
Oh.
So it came out in 2019. This is the first like Steel Wool thing.
Cool.
They were
I've
trusted
heard
this.
about this.
This is
good.
where a bit of the slight recons start coming in.
Okay.
Retcons.
Yeah.
Not recons. They're not doing recon.
Oh wait, sorry. I just noticed the artwork
Yes.
where they're kind of they're fused together. I quite like that. Sorry, continue.
Fancy, right?
Yeah.
So the thing with this one is it's essentially just playing the 4 original quad games, so
Mhm.
1 through 4.
Oh.
In VR, there are side modes where you get to
Mhm.
do certain things. Like there's a thing where you have to repair Freddy and Foxy and all them and like do stuff. Pretty much that one where you have to go in and there's like tools you have to pull out and stuff
Sorry,
like
I'm
that.
laughing at the bug-eyed mask on.
Yes. Some side modes let you get up close and personal. This is where some of the retcons come in
Mhm.
because in this game, when you first get started, the lore of this game is that Fazbear Entertainment has hired Steel Wool to make this game to make light of the situation.
Like
And they
propaganda or some
exactly,
sort.
and
Yeah.
they try and explain that Scott Cawthon is like some mad indie developer who made all these games to make us look bad. So now we're leaning into it and trying to like make it fun for
I
us.
love that narrative so much. That's insane.
So technically, it kind of made one of those things where now, if something was hard set in those games, like this has to happen, it's like it might not have, because it's not real. It's by Scott, who isn't actually trustworthy in this universe. So
Oh.
it kind of put those games in the game universe. It's kind of like Quentin Tarantino with the Quentin Tarantino universe, where some of the movies are in his universe that they're
Mhm.
watching type of deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is probably like the very last point where like all the super diehards are like, yeah, we're still on board. The green rabbit here that you're seeing, the background details are you're finding these tapes that have like little bits of information on them. But while you're doing that, you're rebuilding. Somehow William Afton got his like sentience, like a brain scan, like Black Mirror style,
Okay.
and you're rebuilding him.
Okay.
So now he is glitch trapped. He is a glitch in the
Oh
system
my
that is
god.
now kind of just like spreading like a virus.
Let's go. Let's go.
I told you were gonna like the sci-fi shit.
No, it's not
That is so sci-fi.
no. It's not for the fact that I like it because it's sci-fi. I like it because it's so batshit insane. Like, this isn't like a logical narrative at all, but because I'm being surprised and delighted by, like, I wouldn't have guessed. If you would have guessed, like, what the next game was going to be, I wouldn't have. That's not on my bingo card. That's why I like it. It's not because if there was no sci-fi elements, but still had this weird plot, I would still be on board. Because who in the meeting room goes, like, we're gonna make a meta narrative about this indie developer and also the villain who just got like sent to hell essentially.
Is somehow back.
We're bringing him back.
Somehow
because no-
Palpatine has returned.
So this is great. I'm here for it.
So that's the essential thing. You just get to replay 2, 3, and 4 with some side modes. But that's the big conclusion is that you pretty much unknowingly build him back together and then he locks you away. That's him shutting like a little slide door, Saw style.
Uh-huh.
And depending on what people believe, either he takes over your mind or he's starting to take over like
Oh
the
my
system.
God. I get it. I understand why people love this franchise. I get it.
One of the outcomes is
Uh-huh.
you getting like essentially put inside of a suit on the stage.
Uh-huh.
Because while you're here, behind that curtain is like the Freddy and the gang on the stage.
Yeah.
And the credits roll, and you see the rabbit dancing in the aisles, essentially, where like all the
Nice.
party tables are.
Yeah.
And it's just hilarious.
That's great.
Moving on, I want to go in. They had VR game, but now they also had an AR game. Does anyone know what AR?
Yeah,
Augmented reality.
Yes.
Yeah. You wear the HoloLens RIP and you get to see Freddy Fazbear in your living room.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. But this kind of has this has very, very tiny lore to it because there are emails you can see. I'm trying to remember if they were lost emails and you had to go through like the files and get them, or if they were revealed. I want to say they were revealed.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of explains that weird stuff's happening at like Freddy corporate.
Mm-hmm.
With a character named Vanessa, who we'll get to.
Sure.
But essentially, AR was an augmented reality thing where you just hold your phone up and slowly you would be sent a kind of like how they sent baby to like capture children.
Sure.
Right.
They would be sent to a party that so happenly is at your house, and you have to like shock and use the mask depending on which character is. They have different little.
I do
mechanics.
kind of like that.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
It shut down last 2 years ago, which unfortunately, but there's a whole bunch of like dedicated fans, so you can technically play it still. You have to just go and get it off their little
That's
thing.
cool. Also, I appreciate the Statue of Liberty Chica over here in the corner at the top left somewhere. Sorry, I'm.
Oh my
It's very-
god, there's
this-
so many.
It's kind of like the cast
There
of
it is.
Muppets.
Yeah,
Yes.
it does.
Fun fact:
These are fun.
a lot of FNAF fans,
Uh-huh.
you know, they make toys of all these characters. They want
Sure.
certain ones. Certain ones here were never made,
Mm-hmm.
but they made Liberty Chica, and people fucking hated it because of that. They're like, why'd they make this fucking one?
Yeah.
I like Balloon Boy. Just has a sign that says balloons instead of
Balloons.
holding actual balloons. And then I like the blue. I guess that's Freddy. Kind of lower left.
The
That's
like
kind
ice
of
one.
like the Night King.
Yeah.
From Game of Thrones.
It probably is like a
Oh, that's
reference
probably
to
a
that.
reference to it.
Oh, these are great.
But yeah, that's just one of those small stepping stones. These are one of the games that people don't count. They usually put it in the side modes.
Sure. Right.
Which does lead us to our actual next game, FNAF Security Breach.
Mm-hmm.
This game released in 2021. There's a typo on here. It's that first full free roam game. You know, first old free roam game.
Mm-hmm.
But it is you know how all the other ones, even when you moved, it's still kind of iffy. This was full 3D. You can actually move the character up and around.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It released very buggy. That's one of its most notorious things. That's because it was made during COVID.
Oh, fair enough.
So it didn't have a lot to do. And then the Ruin DLC is obviously DLC that came out for it that kind of expands that story. They go full 80s here.
Oh wow.
This is the equivalent of, everybody remember Disney Quest?
Oh yeah.
This is Disney Quest, but it's FNAF, and it's bigger.
Cool.
They have go-karts, they have a bowling alley, they have laser tag, they have a jazzercise gym.
Okay.
They have a whole mess of different things. And up here where it says obey that rabbit there,
Yeah.
that's Vanessa. She's one of the, essentially William getting into people's heads created a kind of a cult.
Okay.
And she's one of their, that's why she's dressed in a
Harley
rabbit
Quinn.
outfit. Yeah. Well, no, because they're not dating. It's more of a, I would argue, a very abusive father-daughter relationship.
Kind of like a cult leader of sorts, and like those disciples or
Yes,
whatever.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's why in the movies she's the daughter in those ones.
Ah.
That's one of those weird ways of getting around it. But in the first game, the actual main story, you play as.
Are you looking it up on your phone,
I
Derek?
am, because I just forgot the poor kid's name.
Oh no.
Enrique
No.
and Carlita. Justin and Macalina.
Gregory! God damn it. I wanted to call him George. I'm like, George is not right.
Georgery.
Georgery.
Oh, I've been sent to jail for committing Georgery.
But yeah, you play as Gregory.
Jail spelled with a G.
Sorry, these are the games where I've started getting out of these. To be fair,
Yeah,
fine.
this is past my jumping off point. But his whole thing, in theory, is people sometimes think he is a robot.
Gregory?
There's a robot theory where they think he is a robotic replica of the crying child, and he's going in, pretty much being disobedient towards William Afton.
That feels like a stretch, because
It
like, what
is.
actually happens in the game, I wonder.
So he gets locked in overnight.
Okay.
So it's going back to the 6-hour thing, but
Okay.
it goes by story time. So every chapter is a different hour, essentially. And it's pretty much just him going in and fucking the place up. There's not a lot of reason explained why he is doing all this, at least not in game. But it ends up with him and Freddy, who is, in some people's ideas, he's still possessed by the older son. They think when he died, he may have ended up in that robot. It's very complicated to explain. And they essentially go and overthrow this facility and end up, depending on the ending you believe in, reawakening the burnt crisp body of William Afton
Okay.
and then defeating him.
Okay.
And that's the only cutscene that has a full-blown 3D cutscene. All the rest of them are like little cartoon drawing, like stop motion things.
Okay.
But apparently that was a mistake by Scott. He wasn't being very clear with Steel Wool, so they're like, no, that's not the correct ending. So no one actually knows what the correct ending is to this game.
Okay. So we could probably treat this as like a spin-off, alternate reality kind of thing going on.
This is now just a new chapter. in the world.
Non-canon.
No, this is the new
Oh,
canon.
this is the new canon. Got it.
This is going to follow through for the next 2 games.
I feel like, I don't know if this is the same game that I'm thinking of, but I think I've seen clips of Markiplier playing this one.
Yes.
But like all the animatronics are like good.
No, only Freddy's good.
Only Freddy's good, and I remember seeing a sun character.
Yes, Sun and Moon. You end up going. It's one of those weird things. You ever play BioShock?
Yes.
I've played like half of the first one. Don't spoil it.
Oh, girl,
I-
you gotta
You gotta
play it.
I'm trying to. I'm just my computer.
All right.
Do you have an Xbox? I'll give you the fuck that.
You don't need that for an Xbox?
Give you the disc.
I own the collector's edition. I'll give you the disc.
Well, I gotta make sure my Xbox. I'm gonna get back on my computer. I'm gonna play it.
Bunch of excuses.
Okay, I'll finish playing Bioshock, bitch.
I'll try and explain this without giving it away to Sam. Remember in the
I'm gonna
game?
plug my ears.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
No.
Don't do that though. Remember, what's the artist guy's name?
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Go on.
It's essentially that. Okay.
Oh, okay, got it. All right.
So that's the daycare section, is essentially one of those side things where it's
Yeah.
like, why are we here type moments? But yeah, those characters kind of neat. But no, slowly, well, what's happening in this game, at least at the time, some things have changed over games, is that William's spirit that was activated in VR and Help Wanted is slowly affecting everything in here and
Okay.
corrupting the robots, and that's why they're not acting right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm looking at the character designs here.
hmm
They are very 80s.
They are very fucking
They're
80s.
very 80s. How do I word this correctly? This feels more like the traditional furry art rather than like, how do I say that? I don't want to use the word sex appeal, but these characters look more sexy than the original cast, which I don't have a problem with, but like,
Oh, don't worry. Did you see Roxanne Wolf? The wolf woman?
yeah,
There's a
that's
lot of fan art of that.
yeah, and that's the like again, not a problem. I just find it funny that we went from like like very the original models for the FNAF characters are very much
Asexual.
yeah, I guess
Yeah.
they're very like these are very clearly robots that have like animal heads on it, and here these robots are more sculpted.
Well, not and also
It's like these designs look really cool, but like I do feel like I stepped into an alternate reality of FNAF.
yes.
Yeah.
Rather than this does not feel like this isn't on the same
The
camp.
fur affinity version of
Yeah,
FNAF.
like and that's why I'm like this has to be alternate like timeline kind of shit. But
Well, technically, because
Mhm.
in Help Wanted, they explained that the first like essentially like 6 games
Mhm.
are non completely canon, so they can play
Right.
around with certain things.
And so they could be like, this is our idealized version of how FNAF should be, and
Yeah.
everybody's like sexy and
I
just
think this is one of those
beautiful
things where Scott finally realized what he wanted the story to be,
Oh,
but he was sitting there like, I got to figure out how to make these older games fit.
right.
We'll fucking just say they're slightly not canon, you know?
That's I can see that.
Because there's no way in hell a corporation that could not keep their doors open for 3 weeks
It's okay, don't worry about it.
somehow has a whole building that's essentially a theme park inside of it.
Yeah, and like all the robotics look so clean and like advanced and well maintained.
Exactly.
Well, they even got like Funko Pops for these guys, but they're
They
like
do.
action figures. They're not like the traditional Funko Pops. They're like articulated.
That's weird.
That is weird.
That's why Funko's going out of business.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like a Funko's got hours to live.
So you play as Cassie in the Ruin DLC,
Uh-huh.
and this takes place after Gregory already fucked this place up, and they've closed down.
Mhm.
So essentially, this building full of like all these attractions, shut down like in a week again. And she's going in because she is convinced that Gregory is trapped underground in there.
Okay.
Now, this brings our new big bad. This is where things start getting complicated because they
Mhm.
start dropping the William Afton stuff,
Mm.
and they introduce a new character called the Mimic,
Okay.
whose whole gimmick is that he mimics things. He's a
Okay.
robot. So it's one of those things where like, okay, he's mimicking William Afton, I guess.
I don't like that. I would rather have him be brought back to hell than or from hell than I'm sorry, I'm like critique. I'm sorry.
You can critique it. Trust me, a lot of people
I've
aren't
never made a
fans.
game in my life, and like I can't be critiquing this man's work or this team's work. Like I can't.
Don't worry, everyone else critiques it. It's a long stretch.
I hate it, but like there's certain things where I'm like I've got some notes.
But yeah, it essentially ends with her breaking out the Mimic, who somehow got a walkie-talkie underground to talk to her. Not a phone, not like a chip or anything, a walkie-talkie.
Uh-huh.
And then her running away, Roxanne Wolf ends up helping her.
Mm-hmm.
And then getting stuck in an elevator, and then the real Gregory going, we can't risk the Mimic coming up the elevator. We're going to snap the cord. And snapping the elevator and plummeting a small child to their doom at the bottom of an elevator shaft.
If we've already killed like 50 children, what's one more?
So yeah, this is a really big thing where it's like you really gotta be on board to like this part.
Yeah.
And then we'll go since I pretty much breeze past security breaching room. We'll go straight into
Wait, I'm so sorry.
yes.
So what's the gameplay for the first Help Wanted again? I know you mentioned earlier like you're a kid messing up things, but like what's the actual like how do you control this?
It's all first person. You can move around.
Free roam.
Free roam.
Free roam, are you interacting with things?
Yes.
Are you
Well, not. You're pretty much hiding and then collecting things.
Okay, so okay, got it. So weird comparison, stick with me. But kind of like how Amnesia works, where in reality you're not fighting anything, or you're
You're
just
more or less
hiding.
running away from stuff.
You're
Yeah.
hiding, maybe solving a puzzle and getting
Yes,
out.
exactly,
Okay, all right,
exactly.
got it.
Most of the time when the robots get defeated, it's usually in a cutscene where
Mm.
they've kind of gotten in their own way, like the way Roxanne Wolf
So
gets
you don't get a
taken out.
flamethrower and
Yeah,
start
nothing like that.
blasting. Okay.
No, it'll be a thing like she runs the go-kart track and
hmm
he'll be driving in a go-kart and she'll jump in front of it and he'll be like, "Oh, I'm not gonna stop," and it just runs runs into it.
Okay.
Essentially, it's pretty much the go-kart goes off control. It does like some barrel rolls and then smacks her in the face and takes her out.
I'm interested in seeing gameplay for this. Obviously, I'll look at it later, but this is interesting.
It's very
It's
weird.
very different, is what I'm hearing.
It drove a lot of people away, I would argue.
But bringing new people in, and that people
Yeah.
would be me. I don't know, is it? Because something tells me like this feels like a very good 6 out of 10 game, in the sense that it's like
Yes, exactly.
this is. I'm coming in with like low expectations. This is a B movie, but I am having fun,
Mhm.
and that's the important thing.
Yeah, I would argue that a good 6 out of 10 is not, especially since they worked all the kinks out finally. Yeah, that's fair. That's
Yeah,
fair.
and like to be clear, I guess for people who are listening, because I forgot there's a podcast here. 6 out of 10 is fun. For me, any game that's like 5 out of 10 or 5 out of 10 and above, I'd be willing to play and enjoy.
Mhm.
Because once you go below that, I feel like
That's when you
it's
hit like shovelware.
yeah, well, not shovelware, but just more like games that are like broken.
Yeah.
You know, that games are too buggy. Because once you go below that, it's like this game has technical problems. Because like a game can be mediocre, but you can find the fun in it.
Mhm.
So like when I mean 6 out of 10, I don't mean garbage. I just mean like I have my expectations set. I'm going to enjoy the game for what it is. I'm not expecting award-winning performance
Mhm.
from it.
Are we ready to move on?
We
Yeah,
are ready.
go for
Okay.
it.
Sorry.
No, you're good since you're trying to stand up for the little man with their 6 out of 10
Yeah, I'm
games.
sorry. It's just like lately I've been hearing a lot of conversation about like any game that's below 8 is
Yeah,
not worth playing, which is such a
that's
wild argument to
bullshit.
me.
Yeah,
Because there's so many like 6 and 7s that live in my heart that they.
6, 7.
All right.
This won't date this video. So the next game that Steelwood worked on is another VR title. They did Help Wanted 2,
hmm
which is essentially Sister Location redone, and then a lot of party side modes. There's one where you have to perform like operation on Helpy, and while you're doing that, the animatronics are coming off, and every time he screams, they start running. You have to like knock him out with essentially a chloroform. So it's not chloroform; it's a little like panic mask, but it's essentially a thing that calms them down. So it's either that or really good Novocaine, one of the two.
Russell sedative.
But literally, there's a bit in there where like you gotta check his reflexes. You hit him with a hammer, and he goes, ah! Put the mask
Oh,
on
that's
him.
great.
Shooting galleries, not finger painting, but like painting like little paper mache creatures
Is
and
this
stuff
the
like
one
that.
that's on like a train track? Or like I remember seeing somebody play a FNAF that was like on you're in a mine cart.
Mhm.
You're going along a track.
Both Help Wanteds have gameplay like that, where the first one is a Foxy minigame where you're on a boat and you're going through and it's like a shooting gallery, kind of like how Men in Black is.
Okay.
So yeah.
That might be it.
So this one has stuff like that too.
Okay.
I think this one is you're like in the swamp in the bayou, and it kind of explains some of the characters, like the alligator characters and stuff like that. It's one of those things where I think it's more of just a minigame collection. To be fair, I haven't
Okay.
played the VR games because I don't have good VR.
Okay, because I was gonna ask like what VR I'm looking through, like what's available. Looks like it's available on almost every.
It is. It's on available. We could play it.
Okay. Oh,
We'll
looks
buy
like
it for Sam. We can play it on your PlayStation.
they also released it for PlayStation VR 2,
Yeah.
which I do have, so we could play that too. So.
That'll be a test run for us where we'll play FNAF games. All right. And then, unless there's any major questions.
No, it's pretty
No.
straightforward. Where it's like it seems like Steel Wool basically took like
The reins.
not the reins, but like they took the groundwork. What's the word? Like the frame of what Five Nights at Freddy's is.
Like the
Mhm.
blueprints.
Yes, thank you. That's the perfect way to describe it. And made their own thing, but with the skeleton of FNAF.
Mhm.
So it's like if they have fun VR ideas, they'll incorporate it but with the skin of that, which is kind of how the original quadrilogy was anyways. It was just basically like Scott going, oh, I have a bunch of ideas for like different game mechanics, mini games.
Mhm.
I'm just going to put it in there and incorporate some of the lore with it. So
Yeah.
seems like that's,
Now,
what Steel War wanted.
now you know how I brought up the mimic earlier?
Mhm.
That's the new bad guy.
Yeah.
Forget about the old bad guy. New bad guy.
New bad guy. Okay.
He got his own, well, their own origin game
Okay.
where
This is different.
it came out last year, June 13th.
Mm-hmm.
It is technically the earliest point in the timeline. This is all before like anything happened. So somehow this character that is brand spanking new, or at least to us, has been around the whole time.
I'm looking at this.
Your face, Sam, your face is like disbelief.
So I think this is the first game I'm looking at that I'm not. This doesn't feel like FNAF.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I've never played any of the games, but I'm looking at this and like just visually alone.
Now, here's the thing. This is actually for a lot of like the old school people.
Uh-huh.
They like this game a lot because it goes back a little bit into the horror realm rather than the sci-fi realm.
Okay.
Okay.
So all these little characters you're seeing here, other than 1, 2, 3.
I guess maybe I just need to look at gameplay, but just looking at the character art
Yeah,
here,
it looks a
and
little
just-
weird.
It's very.
This is like when all the Disney princesses showed up in Wreck-It Ralph 2.
And they looked all a little off.
They all looked just a little off.
This feels like the indie bootleg of a popular game, which is weird because
This is like the Kingdom Hearts interpretation of all the FNAF characters to me. Or like, you know how like when the Final Fantasy characters and Disney characters
Met.
show up in Kingdom Hearts and they all look cute
Mhm.
and small. This is what this reminds me of.
Well, this is
The Square Enix version.
this is more of an origin story. So we're going before any of the animatronics really existed. We're going back. The only animatronic that really, there's a few of them, but like Freddy's not an animatronic yet.
Okay.
Is the whole thing. This is about the mimic and how they were trying to create this new technology that instead of having like one like robot for each thing, they could put on costumes and just mimic whatever the character they're wearing,
okay.
essentially. So other than maybe like 2 or 3 characters that you're seeing here, these are all the same character, just wearing different skin.
Okay.
But the actual gameplay is you play as Arnold, who is a Fazbear representative, like he's a technician, and he's forced to go into a place called Murray's Costume Manor, who makes the costumes, who does like a bunch of like artwork and stuff like that. These are like Steph, they're you when people show up and they want you to do work.
Okay.
How you do your 3D modeling and stuff
Yeah.
like that. They do that, but they make physical costumes and like
Okay.
robots and shit like that. That's the Murray family. They are more relevant in like the lore purposes. It pretty much this story explains 3 things. It explains kind of where the mimic came from, how Fazbear fucked the Murray family over,
Mm-hmm.
and Arnold's story of just survival.
Okay.
Note that Arnold does not have a face because he's not a silent protagonist, but he is most definitely one of the things where you hear more grunts.
Okay.
That he does have opinions about things, but you never see what he looks like.
I
He's
see.
just arms.
Which one is supposed to be Arnold?
None of them. That's the Murray family.
Okay.
He's the guy who runs the corporation, and that's his son and his wife. This one has a map layout. We finally have another map layout. And essentially the way this game works is for each chapter you have to get more and more credentials is the word I
Mhm.
want to look for.
Okay.
So
Like
you can
getting key cards.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly, and move further up
Right.
until eventually you get to where like the information is, and you have to make a decision of either this is where the game splits. Do you give it to Fazbear and essentially give away all this information, or do you decide to leave with it and then eventually either way Arnold does not make it out of this in one piece. He ends up dying regardless.
Okay.
And it ends with like the mimic stealing like this crucial information that has not been explained yet. This is the last game, so we're still waiting for this is still in guesswork territory.
They're gonna make more games.
They're gonna make more games.
All right.
Sam has had it with this franchise.
I'm gonna be real. I lost the plot like 12 games ago.
We're only at the 11th game.
Like I said, 12 games ago, I lost the plot.
Here's the thing. It could also just be me poorly explaining this shit.
No, you're doing a really good job. I just don't grasp these things very. When the plot gets really, this is like somebody trying to explain the Marvel Cinematic Universe to me. If
Yeah.
I had never seen the movies, I'd be like, okay, why is Bruce Banner just the Hulk all the time?
So there's a little small guy.
Yeah,
Hangs out every now and
Yeah.
then.
and why did the Ancient One show back up in this one? I'm lost. So yes, it's just extremely convoluted.
Do you want to hear how much more convoluted it can get, Sam?
Why not?
Because it is proven in this game that there is not only one mimic, there were two at some point.
Wow! I do like
And
these skeleton like looking guys. Like,
yes, well, that's one singular mimic. That's
Uh-huh.
what he looks like in Ruined,
Okay.
and that's what he looks like in the past in the 70s.
Okay.
Some
I like the design. Those are fun.
It's one of those weird things
Very
where
industrial.
Scott's games have a hard time keeping what's it called when the character has like a sheet that always like you have to focus on it. That's how they're always drawn, like a study focus.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Oh shit.
Is it just called a character sheet?
They have difficulties having these characters stay on model.
It's a model sheet.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's one of those weird things where those two are technically the same character,
Oh,
but that's him in the 70s and that's him at some point that no one knows, 20XX.
sure.
Now the thing in the middle is maybe the first mimic.
Oh, I see. Okay, like the AI brain.
Yes.
Okay.
Now
It's also 5 in the morning. According to that screenshot. See the little clock?
Oh God,
Yeah.
yes, because in the game,
Uh-huh.
the games end at 6 o'clock, so this is in the final chapter.
Okay.
You said that, I'm like, God, it's late. It is midnight though. Where it also is a mimic. So the mimic was made because Mr. Murray's wife passed away. She was killed in a fire accident at one of the at a festival.
Oh, okay.
Fire Festival? I've heard
Sorry,
that.
just laugh at that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, she's not real. This isn't real.
I just like it's not a good joke. 'cause-
She took some peyotes and just went for it, and she was never seen shit
And
again.
and he couldn't really handle that, also being a single father now.
Uh-huh.
So he made the mimic to mimic his wife.
Oh, this is great.
So it's kind of like the oh no more BioShock talk.
Yeah.
It's like a Black Mirror episode where it's just like I
Yes.
wanted to recreate my wife because I miss her, but turns out this is not my wife at all.
Yes, and essentially it becomes one of those things where it's like, okay, no, this is getting creepy. You're a little too realistic.
Yeah.
Like Disney's Smart House.
Yeah, but
There you go.
Oh my
way more
god.
dangerous.
Oh my god. That's okay.
Yeah.
I
And
was
then
not
I-
expecting that
was
to
born-
come up until
I was born in '87, guys.
And then essentially after his wife dies and he builds this character, this monstrosity,
Mm-hmm.
his son dies.
Oh shit! So you built another
And
robot.
it's one of those weird things where it's like it starts mimicking his son. And it's like, okay, no, we don't want to do this. And he tries to stop it and it pretty much just kills him.
Fair, that's pretty straightforward.
But while all that's happening in the background, William Afton and Henry are like essentially being really sleazy business partners. And they're like, you're not meeting your end of the contract. We can like not foreclose. We can like take advantage of this and take all your property. Essentially, they steal not only the guy's job, his business, they steal his house.
Oh damn!
It's a whole mess.
But she should have made him an LLC. What's he doing? With being a sole proprietor with so much liability.
And somehow one of the mimics end up getting put into this machine here, and that's why it says Fiona, because that was the wife's name. Even though it's F1O and 4, it's Fiona.
Lore.
Clever girl.
But one thing I didn't explain is in Ruin, you end up doing like all these like hacking mini games, and you run into a thing called the Nexus,
Okay.
which is kind of like the security system.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks exactly like that thing. Like they just scraped off Fiona and wrote in a different thing. So people are trying to figure out if they're connected, but that has not been proven yet. This is the last slide because this is where the trail runs cold till the 12th game comes out.
Got it. Okay.
Have you guys felt like you have learned anything?
I feel like I've learned a lot. My eyes have been open to this new ecosystem. Like it feels like an ecosystem. This is an iceberg situation where I'm like, oh, these are scary games, and yeah, there's lore, but to me, it's like this feels more. This is gonna be a weird comparison. Don't at me at this, but kind of like the From Soft games, You haven't played any of like
No.
oh, okay. Well, those listening who have played like a Soulsborne-esque
They
game that
slightly
has like a
connect,
lot of
right?
lore there's a lot of lore that's not explained.
I swear, if you choose that as your topic for your hyperfixation episode,
No, there are professionals on
I'm
YouTube
turning
who
my
could do.
microphone off.
No, you're good. There are professionals on YouTube who will do a way better job than me. Also, it probably require like a million slides, and I'm not comparing
And a
in terms.
college degree.
Pretty much, it's a thesis. And also, I just want
You
to
really have
preface.
to have a high
I
IQ to
just want
understand
to
the From Software
preface,
games.
not preface because I've already said it, but I just want to like add that like the FromSoft lore is just way better quality than FNAF lore. I'm not comparing; they are not the
You're
same.
talking about this studio that has like 200 people working
I'm
on
very
one game
much
is
AAA
better?
aware
studio.
that the lore in FromSoft games are way better than this. But it's one of those things where it's like when I was playing Dark Souls for the first time, I wasn't like aware of how much lore it had until I dug deep. Like when playing the game, none of this is like told to you. And FNAF does have some stuff from what I've learned today, that they tell you, but there's a lot in here that you would have to connect the dots yourself,
Yeah,
or
or
like
try and find like other people to talk to
theories
about
or
it.
read books and things like that. And I do find that fascinating. I like worlds like this that branch out into different mediums, and it kind of adds a layer of like I don't want to say immersion, but a lot more involvement. Like I feel like I'm in. If you ever played an ARG before,
Exactly.
it
It
feels
feels
like
like
that.
that.
And I love stuff like
I
that.
fucking hate
You
ARGs.
can mess up ARGs, and
What is ARG?
Alternate reality game.
mhm.
You know how there'll be like stuff in real life where it's like, oh, you need to go to this location to get information, stuff like that for in-universe
Oh,
video and shit like that.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not very good.
Well, there's some of them that done well. I think there was a Nine Inch Nails album that there was an ARG attached to it where it's like an alternate universe where we live in a dystopian reality and there's like real points in the world that you can go and find additional information.
Like the Cloverfield thing?
Yeah,
Better
yeah.
example.
Okay.
That's a better
We have to go
example.
to like
Yeah.
certain websites and there's like this
Yeah.
slightly
Mhm.
like Mr. Slushy, yeah,
I
and all
do
that
think that
shit.
stuff's
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah, when it's
It's
done
only if it's
well.
done well.
Right. And this thing like here, the FNAF thing is like right on I really do want to say like 5 out of 10 or 6 out of 10 where it's like it's got great potential. And I do applaud it for trying out different things and branching out and trying like what is you've got books, you've got
Lots of
movies,
books, movies,
A trading card game?
merchandise.
well,
That's where the real money's
porn.
made.
I just
Lots of it.
I'm not okay. All right, I'm not talking about the money making side. I'm talking about like what venues they're using to storytell, right?
Gotcha.
And the fact that like some games are like that hidden game, that hidden sequel that was given out, and how things are hidden. I like that because it adds like a game to the game, where it's like there's a game that you can play, but there's a game of like, can you piece the narrative together? And I do like that because it kind of makes my like brain wrinkle a bit as I'm trying to connect the dots.
Steph's brain goes from smooth to wrinkly
Seriously,
when she thinks about
like
this stuff.
there's basically it's a game within a game. So this is cool. Like I feel like I've learned a lot here. I still won't play the original games because I'll be honest, jump scares aren't really my thing.
Mhm.
But I do appreciate the amount of thought, even though it's not perfect. I do appreciate the amount of thought of like the attempt to
Mhm.
tie things together. And
It's
just
like
get
Evel Knievel. You get paid for the attempt regardless.
exactly. And also, they're not afraid to get weird with it too. Where it's like there's some
It gets real fucking weird after a
which
while.
some people play it safe when they're making a lot of sequels, but this is like I won't have a bingo card because I can expect what I cannot expect what they would make next.
All right, away from Mrs. Positive, Sam, what do you think about all
I
this?
feel the exact opposite. They should have made one game and stopped fucking there. Because my God, just like if you wanted to make a complex story, start with the idea that it was going to be a complex story. I feel like he started this thinking, I'm just going to make a simple Chuck E. Cheese knockoff.
Yes, essentially that's what it
And then
was.
it
started.
spiraled out of control, and it's like, oh, I hate it even more now. I didn't hate it before. I hate it now.
I,
It's nothing that you did. It's
no,
just
it's fine. Even if it is
too
something I've
much.
done, I'm happy. I just over the past, we have been doing this for 4 hours now.
Yeah, you're gonna try this.
Oh no,
4
it's gonna get
hours.
trimmed,
It's
most
been,
definitely.
like an hour,
But
2
I've
hours.
seen Steph get way more excited,
Yeah,
and then
me.
Sam, I would look
I'm
over and
dipping. I dipped like halfway through. I'm like, this, no, I want off this
To
ride.
be fair, I'm one of those people, depending on who you talk to, there's certain people who think where the timeline should have stopped, where the game should have stopped. I think 3 works really well,
Mm-hmm.
and then if you didn't stop there, you should have stopped at 6 when they burned the fucking building down.
Sure.
And then if he wanted to do something creepy sci-fi with robots, he could have just did that.
Mm-hmm.
And be like, hey, it's from the creators of FNAF, but it's its own thing. Because I'm not a big fan of the sci-fi, and this is getting way too sci-fi for me,
It does.
which can get complicated,
Mm-hmm.
especially with like, as soon as I heard their sister location was like one of the earlier bits in the timeline, I immediately was like, what the fuck?
I really do think that sister location should have existed as is, but be declared as like an alternate timeline. Because you
Mhm.
can do alternate timelines. Like
They're
comics.
already doing it with the books.
I was gonna
The
say the
books are
books do
alternate
it, but like
timelines.
if you want like a different example, and I don't know if this is successful. I mean, it's a successful example, I guess, because there's money involved in it. But like if you look at like this is weird, but the Marvel and DC comics, how they have like different like runs that are like this is a different universe. Like you could have done that. Like the people who are super into the games, they're gonna play it anyways,
Hmm
regardless, and then that way you
Exactly.
keep
Once you
it.
get a following, you can kind of
Yeah,
just do whatever you want.
exactly. And because at the end of the day, the people who just want to play the game for the sake of like getting jump scare, they're gonna buy your game anyways.
Yeah.
Um, so, but yeah, but
I
I
think
don't.
even stopping at 4 would have been a good idea.
Oh, sure, but you know, money, money, money.
That's true. That's what it, unfortunately, that's what it feels like. It feels like one of those things where he realized it was so good
Mm-hmm.
that he's like, I can't stop.
Yeah, 100%. And that is one thing I probably should have critiqued on more. I ignored it because like to me it's very obvious, like, oh yeah, it's commercialization, but looking past that. But it's something to consider as part of the conversation where it's like, there is a lot of money tied to this. There is a lot in terms of merchandising and really targeting like the younger demographic, because obviously that's what appeals to the most,
Mhm.
at least when it hit big, when it first hit big.
Mhm.
So there was a lot of like questionable things of like, should this really have gone as long as it did? But from what that was described to me, it seems like they were willing to experiment enough that it doesn't feel like a cash grab, even though it is. Like, even though I'm looking at
It's
these
still
things,
making money, but made not just for the money.
like VR isn't really like if you really wanted to make money, you would have just stuck with like Steam, just make like flat screen games and just make iterative like sequels and
Yeah,
not
where
really
it just
do
kind of gets
much.
repetitive.
Yeah. But the fact that they've done VR, which again, like, is not really a financially big payoff because VR
Yeah,
games are very niche. Because first off, you got to get the console or
in the
computer that can run it
headsets. Yeah,
and the headset, right? Plus, you got to not be motion sick when you use these things.
yeah.
So, that makes it a very niche audience for a niche genre, in addition to novels, which who's going to read a novelization of like a horror niche indie
A
game?
horror trilogy
Yeah,
novelization.
and that's the thing because it's so niche. So this feels like this money has allowed Scott to do whatever he wants
Yeah.
rather
But
than
that's almost like can be.
To be fair,
It's
if
a
I was
little
rich, I would
bit
do whatever I
toxic.
want.
It's a little bit toxic. Like take the money and do like other creative
Yeah,
projects,
you
but
don't have to hold
don't
yourself
just keep
down.
making the sandcastle bigger and bigger and bigger and more elaborate with more gators in there. Just like go make other sandcastles that are just as pretty.
Yeah.
that is true. That is true.
But that's my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, yes. No, I can see that 100%. Like, I honestly would be interested to see, because he stepped away from development with these new games.
Yeah,
I
he's
am
just running
curious.
stories. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if he's like retired, but I'm curious to see like what if he made a new thing, what would that look like? And I think a really great example of this would be the Pokemon company, yeah, Game Freak,
hmm
where I don't know if you've seen like their new game that has nothing to do with Pokemon. It's a new IP
hmm
and it's a completely new genre. And it's one of those things where it's like this company has made other games before, but they're known to just make Pokemon. And the fact that they have so much fucking money that they can just do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And they're doing whatever they want now, where it's like they are making a completely new game that they want to try out something different and it looks cool. And I think like I'm curious to see what Scott will make next that has nothing to do with horror or
People will
FNAF.
still tie it to FNAF.
Yeah, they'll
They
try.
They'll
will.
still.
They will, but like that's not for him. All he needs to do is just make a strong game
To be
away
fair, I
from
don't think
that.
he's ever gonna do that
And
because
that's
he's
a
essentially semi-retired.
right. Well, that's the thing. I don't know. I don't know what he's up to. I know nothing about this guy. I haven't seen an interview, so I don't know what he's like if he's active in the community or not. But
Oh yeah, he
it's
hangs out in the forums.
so like it's one of those things where it's like the money will make him stay on FNAF, but I'm just curious, like he has to have other creative like as a creative, you gotta get tired of
He's
doing.
gonna make another phone casino slot machine game. Just for
Maybe
shits and
I don't
giggles.
know. That's the
Just make
thing.
something really shitty.
Yeah. All right. I don't know how to end this, so I have an idea though.
Okay.
Okay.
So for my one and dones, do a star rating system, but I
Okay.
do them by color. So there's red, orange, yellow, green, and purple.
Okay.
Obviously being 1 through 5 stars.
Mhm.
Okay.
What color would you give it, Steph?
Give what, the
The
game?
presentation.
The whole thing. Everything you've seen here.
The presentation.
Sure.
There's different elements. I
Yeah.
don't want to.
No, mix it all together.
Okay. Give us an array. Red, yellow, red, orange, yellow, green, purple.
Yes.
I'm gonna give it the presentation a green.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of things have been delivered
She's
like
being too nice to me.
No. I think here's the thing. I understand the lore now, which obviously there's some points where I got a little lost, but that's not the fault of you. That's the fault of like this weird lore trying to make everything fit under canon. But we've got enough visual information to know what each game looks like. I understand how we got from point A to point B in the development here, and I understood what happened. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Sam.
Okay.
We'll do the presentation first. Sure. The presentation.
The presentation.
Mhm.
I'm gonna give it a solid. It was green, purple, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a solid green.
Yeah.
Because I like that you made it interactive. You gave us an opportunity
Mhm.
to answer and name characters and just read this and guess what? You did a very good job with that. The only thing I would say is that it felt too long.
Yeah, it's hella long.
So I would have dialed it back just a little bit.
This was me dialing it back at 2:30
combine a
in the
few
morning.
Yeah,
slides,
that why it's not purple. If it was like 2 hours instead of 4, it'd be purple.
Yeah.
And then factoring in the content,
Mhm.
not you, but the actual content of the game
Mhm.
brings the whole thing down to yellow. which is
Yellow's the
middle.
midpoint.
Yellow,
Yes.
which is no
Yellow's
mark
good.
on you. It's
Mhm.
mark on the content that is driving me crazy. So the game brought you down, not you.
Sam is never going to want to hear about FNAF ever
Nope.
again.
Nope, I'm done.
If they
Thank you for
release
not
a
talking about
game-
the movies.
God.
I'm disappointed that I didn't hear about the movies. I
Oh
wanted
no,
to know.
I felt bad because I'm like, if I talk about the movies, then I have to talk about the books. I'm not going to sit here and read
No, that's
like
okay.
30 plus books.
I didn't realize they were
If
connected.
there's going to be a
my
video
bad.
of this, just put up a picture of Matthew Lillard now.
Okay.
But put a mustache on him, but a really big mustache, and now make fireworks shoot out of the mustache.
I don't know how to do that.
Figure it out.
I'll have to call Bryce. He knows how to do that.
And now put your face over Matthew Lillard's face,
No.
but make it way too small. It doesn't fit in there just right.
It's just on the nose. On his nose, eh?
And now now liquefy his face so that he's smiling. He's already probably smiling in the picture, but make him smile.
I could find an angry video of Matthew
Yeah.
Lillard. Probably. There's got to be a picture of him pissed off somewhere.
And now your big motto, your big catchphrase.
I don't have one of those. The one
That's
and done
his
doesn't have.
catchphrase. I don't have one of those.
Join us again next time where one of the other two people will try and do a better job than I do. Thank you for listening to Fixation?
Hyperfixation.
Hyperfixation.
_2.
_2. Thank you very much. Have a nice night.
Bye.